Right, guys.
All right.
All right, Dave, all right, Crusher.
Keaton, welcome in. It looks like Nathan might have disconnected from us. We'll have to wait for him to connect back in, but as long as he uses that same link, he'll be able to pop right back in.
Yeah, good.
So welcome in, Keaton.
I know, very excited to be here.
Yep.
We're so glad to have you in here.
I know, Sam.
I tell you something, you caught our attention, just like Subforce Arnie a couple weeks ago. What's that, Dave?
Well, I was saying it's a proud moment for us seeing the young generation carrying on the torch that we lit, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And by the way, we got a few comments here. I'm just going to kind of introduce him here quick. We got Terry Kosnappel. He's one of our NWF alumni. He's here watching. So he was just put in our Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Yep, so he's out there. We got the one, what do we got here?
One wrestler, Jesse Jackhammer.
One that wrestled with Jesse Jackhammer. Yeah, saying hi to us and as well as Keaton.
Yeah, I know him. What did he say?
Oh, he just said hi, and he also said hi to you as well. Hi to Keaton. So, yeah, so we're just gonna we'll start talking with you, Keaton, while we wait for your coach Nathan to connect in again. We were just talking to all of these guys here, and so he just glitched out. We just got to wait for him to connect in again.
Yeah, it's okay.
But well, let's start with this, Keaton. You said that you said that you were that we here at the NWF we inspire you. Explain that.
Yeah, you did. So after my first, when I started getting into wrestling, my ambition was always to be a professional wrestler from the very first time I saw it when I started seeing Lex or John Cena. But then I thought, as me being a kid, until I was a model, I couldn't do it. But until when I saw NWF and stuff, I thought maybe I could be a kid wrestler. And then Nathan had on that there's going to be kids wrestling and said join it.
It's cool. So you know that I'm glad that you came across their stuff though to give you the spark and to give you the idea to do it. You guys are so lucky today. Like you and Arnie over there in the UK, because you have academies that you can go to and train and learn it. Yeah. Dave,
we didn't have that,
right? Yeah, and I do too. We didn't have that, man. That's huge.
My training was, there's a ring, you're up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They didn't smarten me up before my match. I didn't even get a lick of training before my match. It was just cameras are rolling, get in the ring.
Yeah, and that was by design, because if we didn't know who you were at first, we didn't. I don't know if we talked about it, Keith, when I talked to you the other day on our test connection, but we were part of that kayfabe era where we're trying to make everybody believe what we're doing is real. So the other kids come on the show that we go to school with that I don't necessarily know. We're like, I don't know who this is. Is he going to stick around, or is he just going to come in here and realize this ain't for him and then leave? And then all of a sudden he tells everybody what we're doing. Yeah. So we had to kind of keep a low key at first, and Dave was part of that a little bit. But,
until he got to know him,
until we start to trust him a little bit.
Even one of our alumni, Pretty Boy Taylor, admitted he saw me and he thought I'd be a one and done.
Yeah, because we had a lot of kids like that, Keaton. I don't know if there's like that at the training center you're at, but we had a lot of kids that would come in and realize this isn't for me.
Yeah.
And they try it and then they'd be done.
That'll be a question I have for.
Here, Nathan just sent us an email there. I'm on tablet. Ask Keaton to get them to send it.
So give them the email address.
The email is
his here, Keaton. I will send you an email that you can forward to him.
All right.
Go ahead, Dave, and ask some questions here while I take care of this.
All right. So, just so our guests watching know, how old are you right now?
So I'm 12 right now, and I started wrestling 2 years ago.
Okay.
I was 10.
So, and running across the kids' pro wrestling kind of inspired you to give it a try?
Yeah, it did. There wasn't really there's Olympic wrestling clubs, which I'm not the most into, but when NXT wrestling came along, it was a perfect thing because I already support NXT wrestling, so when the kids wrestling was on, I thought I had to go there. Obviously, I've been a lifelong wrestling fan. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's part of why I joined. I've been a long-time wrestling fan, and when I saw the NWF not too far from my house, I was like, I got to give this a try.
Yeah.
And I got a question that I forgot to ask Sub for us. How much does it cost to train?
How much does it cost to train?
Yeah.
So it costs $7.50 each week.
And that's in the pounds then or whatever, right?
Yeah, in pounds.
Yeah, so I don't know what that is in dollars. It's got to be close to dollars, I think.
Yeah, I think it's shipping.
Yeah, so that's pretty reasonable, really. But I'm sure that's because you're younger, you're kids, and it's part to help you guys as well. So
yeah,
which is good.
It is really reasonable because there's not really any really American style wrestling clubs anywhere, so it's really reasonable only for like $7.50.
Yep. And Keaton, by the way, I sent you an email that you can send to Nathan that has the proper link.
Okay, I'll do that.
To your email.
Okay, I'll do that.
But yeah, so let's see. Terry's watching, and he says it's awesome to have you with us here, Keaton. So let me just say this, and this goes for all of our alumni. We see it differently when we watch somebody like yourself, Keaton, because we can put ourselves in your shoes. We can see through your eyes because we were there. We did it too, way back when we were kids. So we know exactly what you're thinking and how you feel, more so than let's say adults today, because unless you did this as a kid, you really don't know, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we can relate to you. And I know that Terry when I'm saying Terry would echo and Dave would echo and everybody.
Exactly. I mean, when you have something like this in your heart,
yeah,
it doesn't matter how green you are in the ring. If you've got the heart, you can get trained to be proficient in the ring.
Yeah, so even, I know, because I realized even from when I started them, but from becoming NWF Tag Team Champion, they really improved in the ring. Like,
yeah, Dave, for you, when you became National Tag Champ, you improved quite a bit at that point. Obviously, right?
Well, yeah. That and...
but more so, you proved yourself to me.
Lucky breaks.
No. But more so, you really proved yourself to me, because I'm ultimately making that decision, at the time. And I would decide who, I was booking it. So, but you see, here's the thing, Keaton. Let me tell you a little story here while we wait for Nathan. Back in the day with NWF, we had so many kids come through, and probably over 100, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And of that group of kids, there would be kids that would be athletically pretty good. Like they would come in and they could take to the ring pretty easily, right? Because they were a little bit more physically into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of these kids, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't know what alumni we got out there watching us these days, and I don't want to offend anybody. But there were some kids that were just had the wrong attitude, or their heart wasn't there. It wasn't in their blood, where you could feel it. And even though they were good in the ring, but they just didn't have the right attitude. And then there were guys like I like to point out to Dixie Dave, that came along that maybe weren't athletically sound right away, didn't have the physical side of it right, there at first, but had the heart of a lion, just like the logo on your dojo, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
And so with that, I that's fine, because I can teach the physical part. Your coach Nathan can teach you the physical part, right?
Yeah.
But we can't teach attitude. We can't teach having the right head on your shoulders and really having that in your blood to want to do this.
I know what you mean.
So I would take the Dixie Daves. I would take these guys over and over again, because we can teach the physical part. We can't teach the mental part. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah.
Right.
So so I'm let's go to the watch long screen while we wait for Dave to come in. We can kind of start playing some of your highlights here.
All the good.
This is guys hearing it okay?
What is it?
Can you guys hear this video okay?
No, can't see it.
Oh, you might not be able to see it. It's basically, you can see it, right, Dave?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to probably look at the YouTube screen or whatever to see it, but we're basically just showing your highlights.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, one thing I'm going to say to you, Keaton, is athletical ability will get you a long way.
Yeah.
But having the right attitude and the right heart will get you something like this.
Yeah.
Joe 88 in the house here. Go Keaton. I imagine he's a fan or a friend.
Yeah, he is. Oh, you got the Hall of Fame, did you?
No, he just commented. He's watching the stream with us here.
I know. So, Dave, did you get the Hall of Fame? Yeah.
Can you guys hear?
Yep, I can see you, Nathan. Are you there? We can see you.
Yeah, we can see you.
Can you hear us, Nathan?
He might not be able to hear us, but we can hear him.
Yep.
So these are just like some training exercises. It looks like, right?
Yep, that's what it appears to be to me.
Yeah. And is this the kind of thing, Keaton, that you guys do every training session, like before you start doing?
Yeah, we normally do warm-ups and then forward rolls and stuff.
Okay. Yep. Well, this is part of it, right? You know?
Yeah.
You definitely need to, practice and everything and kind of get the formalities down.
Oh, yeah, definitely before you get on shows and stuff, I agree.
Yeah, Nathan, if Nathan can hear us, I don't know if he can, but he would want to, if he can't hear us, he's going to want to check his settings to make sure his output device is set right in the settings. There's a little gearbox thing there, and if you go in there, there's an audio settings, and you can change your outputs and stuff to make sure it's using the right device. Because sometimes these things have multiple outputs. Now, that person there, in there with you, kind of like training you guys in the ring right now, what's his name again?
John McCann.
Yeah, it's John, and how do you pronounce it again?
John McCann.
McCann. John
Yeah.
McCann. I like that guy. I can tell that he's really into this training with you kids. I can see it in his face.
Well, it's actually his birthday today.
Is his birthday today?
Yeah, happy birthday.
Ah, well, happy birthday, John, if he's out there. But no, I can tell by his demeanor and stuff that he's the right person, to be working with you kids. You can tell he has the right attitude.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, here's one of our regulars, Dave. Gizmo in the house this afternoon. Build up. He says, I can see they start things slow and build up. This is a big difference when you are carrying adults backing you. Yeah. Having that adult, like I said, the adult guidance is the key here, guys. Having people that know the business showing the kids. That's the way to do it today. It's the way to go.
See, in our show, we had adults there, but they were out for themselves.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Who's
the
that
adults...
guy slapping the ring in the back there?
Oh, that's Chris Mercer. He actually just returned. At the very start, he was on training us. Then he didn't have the time to train us, so then he kind of stopped and he didn't have the time for wrestling. Then he returned again, and he was happy.
Okay, because he's all dressed up and everything. I didn't know if he was the announcer or what was going on.
He was the announcer at that time. Normally he's a wrestler because it was a return. They said to put him as guest announcer and stuff. But he was happy to see how much we're improved.
Now, where this show's happening right here, this is kind of where the venue is, where the Northern Ireland Professional Wrestling does their shows and stuff, right?
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
Sometimes you should have Malone, wouldn't you, Nathan?
Okay.
I don't think he can hear us, but yeah, sometimes they would do Malone with that.
Look at this, like, okay, reverse snapmare goes into a reverse chin lock. Very good. Very good stuff here. This is the good fundamental stuff to be learning. Well, very old school over here, we're seeing right now.
Exactly. What I like to see is teaching the old school stuff, not.
Well, yeah, because some of the old school stuff Dave carries on, right?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Exactly.
Oh, I think he's reconnecting.
He knows how to get the crowd going himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Very good ring announcer.
I was saying too, guys, if you check out Keaton's YouTube channel, which has been under his name and everything on our other screen, Keaton does an awesome job commentating to all these matches that happen out of this place.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. I actually like that just as much as the wrestling itself. Listening to your play-by-play.
I know the NWF commentary was class as well. Like,
what's that?
the NWF commentary was awesome. I know you done a lot of it as well.
Yeah, you know, we did more traditional, you know, like live commentating, right, during the matches. But obviously, you're there watching and enjoying the show, and then you'll dub in the commentating later, which we did some of that sometimes. There was times where we did our commentating in the editing booth, but you know, that's what it was back in the day. It was all videotape and editing booths, and it was so different back then when you had videotape versus today being digital. And by the way, Keaton, one thing I'm going to say, don't save every bit of footage you've got out of all the stuff that you're doing. Don't ever lose any of it. It's so easy to save it today.
Yeah.
You don't know how much I wish I would have saved some of the tapes we had back in the day, but they were so expensive. You know, you're talking like $20 a tape.
You know, what I would even consider doing is getting an extra hard drive for your computer, just so you can save all your footage.
Yeah, I don't want to lose any. You're gonna want to look back at this someday, just like we do today.
Oh yeah. Do you regret that?
This looks like it's physically enduring here.
Oh yeah.
Wheelbarrows.
Here. Oh, wheelbarrows, yeah.
Yep. Arm drag. Yeah, look at how that ring bounces, Dave. I would love to be in one of those new Flexi Steel rings. See how I would love to know how taking a bump in that would be compared, because we had the breakdown rings, Keaton. So we had a center spring, the older style. Yeah, that's the old way the rings were done.
Yeah.
I don't know, Coach Nathan, can he hear us, or is he still?
Well, my first match was in a boxing ring that was right in front.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we had the Golden Gloves boxing ring for a while, and there's no spring in there. It was just a hard mat pad. See, notice how they use crash mat pads here to get them kind of going with this. You know, get familiar with the suplex.
Exactly.
You know, we
hey,
did
Keaton,
this.
You want something
Dave.
to laugh at me about?
Yeah. What is it?
My first professional match ever. My debut match on May 10th, 1986, ended with a basic body slam.
That's not bad, like.
The guy body slammed me, and I landed wrong.
He landed on the small of his neck.
How long were you out for? Were you out?
What was that?
How long were you out for?
It was my first day.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he wasn't out. He just knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah.
I've had that as well. It's sore, isn't it?
Yeah, as the referee was doing the count.
This kid here is going to be a showman that just
like,
went off the second row. But yeah, you know, what you need to do.
The referee did his one count, and he's like, "Kick out, kid."
Yeah.
Hit the second count.
Dave said, "I can't." He's trying to catch his breath.
Yep.
Yeah, like we use crash mat pads in Fred Moore. We did a very similar stuff, but I mean, yeah, that's the way to do it. It's how you. I remember trying to teach people the drop kick using pads like this, so they could get up and do a proper drop kick and then land on the pads, right? You know, instead of the ring.
Is this the one where I get winded on? Is this the one where we're doing drop kicks from pads?
Well, no, I mean, I remember having kids
right
learn
now,
the drop kick from using pads like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's showing people doing cross bodies.
Yep, cross body box.
This might have been one for me. Just go see like nowadays we've improved so much from the end to now, so much like.
Oh yeah, then you will. The more you keep doing this, the more you're gonna, you know, it's all professional wrestling, especially in the training side. It's all repetition, and as you do it more and more and get more comfortable, you're just gonna get better and better and better. You know, that's just the way it works. Now, yeah, so this is a match then, and Keaton explained to us who we're seeing here.
So this is a match for the #1 contendership, the Canary Kid versus John McCann. They're not juniors, but they'll be 15 and 17, and it's two pretty much junior wrestlers fighting for the #1 contender championship.
Right, but the Canary Kid, correct me if I'm wrong, he started when he was like 14, right?
Yeah, he started when he was 14. Both of them started
So
quite young.
he's still fairly young. He's a teenager, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, teenager.
But
a bit older.
You know who he reminds me a lot of? I'm going to tell you this. This Canary Kid. Who does he remind you of, Dave?
Well, let me watch him a minute here. Body-wise, I know who he reminds me of.
Well, I'm going to say a young Sean Waltman, the Lightning Kid.
Oh, okay.
In the PWA days.
You're going with more of the celebrity style.
Okay, who are you going to say? I'm curious.
I was saying with the body build, the way he is, the Canary Kid kind of reminds me of a young Sean Crossen.
Oh, Crusher Crossen? Yeah, a little bit, maybe. You know, he's a high flyer like I was. But I don't know if I could do some of the stuff he does. If you watch him in this match, he's pretty good. Of course, it's the new style, right? It's the new era of wrestling.
Yep.
So.
Some of the splashes on top rope are quite good, but
what's that?
Some of the splashes and all you done from top rope are quite good as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when it comes to wrestling, as a wrestler, everybody's different. Not everybody's gonna be a high flyer, Keaton. You got to find what you need to do in your training stuff as you get through all of it. You need to find your style of a wrestler, and it may not be a top rope guy, right? Look at Dave and I. Dave and I are two different kind of wrestlers. I made my way on the top rope quite a bit, but Dave never did. Dave's style was different.
I don't.
You just
Yeah.
I mean,
you need to find the style that you're comfortable with,
and then be the best at it.
Yeah, I guess. That's a great idea.
We got comments here. I'm not kind of paying attention. Let me bring some of these in while we're watching. Sky Sports Video News in the house. Thanks for joining us, Sky Sports. I know this is earlier than usual. Another Hall of Famer in the house. Hello and congratulations to Terry. Terry, this would have been a good match for you in the day. Second about Terry Costner. Yeah, Terry would have fit right in with these guys. There's a lot of us would have back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got Gizmo commenting again. He says, this is a big change from when Crusher started. He started with a mattress in the basement and moved up to a real ring in an arena. That's the... Yeah, if you ever watched the Untold Story, you'd know the whole story. But yeah, that's...
I know, I've seen it from High Change. I've seen the documentaries and stuff. You started from in your basement. I think it's like your mom's basement till having a big ring and all people coming in. Also, it changed a lot, didn't it?
And then I'm not sure what language this is, but Super Chad, I don't know. That's what that means, but I'm sure it means super good. That's what I'm gonna say. So yeah, this is good stuff. I like this small venue, like this kind of it gives me this local house atmosphere kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I like that. I bet the fans are like real fans, just true fans of this, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
They're there at every show.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Like there's some parents and all around as well.
Yeah.
Parents of wrestlers.
A lot of our TV taping shows were just the wrestlers were the crowd.
Gosh, Dave, I really want to know what it feels like bumping in these flexi steel rings. I really just watching that mat.
I'll make you a deal, Crusher.
But I don't know. I don't want to. We're too old for this stuff, Dave. We can't do this anymore.
I'll make you a deal. If I win the lottery here in America, I'll buy a flexi steel ring when I get my house built.
This is the bird. This is like a.
We won't go through a full match. We'll just bump a little bit.
That's one of his best moves.
Well, he's looked like he went for a crossbody, but didn't
Yeah.
work. You got to work through those blunders, and he did. Yep.
I'm assuming you can't hear my commentary through this on the leg part now.
Full package 1, 2, kick out of 2 by the Canary Kid.
I'm sorry, what was that, Keaton?
I'm assuming you can't hear my commentary through this.
A little bit. I mean, we have it lower so we can hear us talk right now, so we kind of
Yeah.
purposely do that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But if you guys go to Keaton's channel, you can watch this match and a bunch of other ones. He constantly is posting things like this.
Yeah, all the NXT stuff, and then of course my training videos as well.
This is very current style, you know. Them just watching all these very quick, exchanges with each other, and very, very good stuff. If you see my eyes going in that, that's where the screen is right, so I can watch it. That's why I went off the stream.
The Canary Kid is the #1 contender.
So the Canary Kid gets the push.
Heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
John McCann in a singles match.
That's the first time the Canary Kid's actually ever won John McCann. Normally John McCann would be the winner.
Yeah, so that's what you were telling me. These two that they've had really good matches in the past, right?
Yeah, all amazing matches. Probably the best NXT matches ever they've had. Some of the NXT best.
Look at this.
See, at the Lions Den and stuff, that would really be the only shows we have. We would, but we would sometimes do bigger shows at Malone Rugby Club with more than 250 people and stuff.
Hang on a second, I'm going to put this up so we can hear this a little bit better. This is all the celebrities that Keaton's been in touch with that we had on video that he provided us. Dudley Boys, Dave.
Get the tables!
Who testify?
And the glasses and everything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Boys and girls, it's the one and only
Mhm.
Adam Cole, baby, and you're watching Wrestling Revolution with Keaton.
Hey, this is Carlito, and you're watching Wrestling Revolution with Keaton. And that's cool.
This is Edge, the Rated R Superstar, and you're watching Wrestling Revolution with Keaton. I think I said that right. I hope so, Keaton. Please don't hurt me if I didn't. Yeah.
What a nice guy he is. All right, so there we go. Little highlights and everything. Nathan, can you hear us okay? Because I don't know if he can hear us because we haven't heard him at all. So his audio might not be working on this connection.
Yeah, I don't think Nathan can hear us either.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is if his audio is not working, it's in the settings. He has to change his audio settings in the in that little gear thing. There's a gear adjustment, and he's got to change his settings.
Yeah.
And then we can hear him because right now we can't hear him, and I don't think he can hear us. Maybe. Yeah, lots of so guys. If you have any comments for Keaton, please send us some questions.
Gizmo, we know you're good about questions.
Let me just make sure. I'm gonna look at my own questions here. So Keaton, what's your goal then? Like, where do you see yourself in all of this as you start your training?
I don't really want to go to American wrestling. I don't really want to get into WWE. I want to continue with NIPW, Nathan's promotion, and make it bigger instead of me going to a bigger company and make NIPW bigger. Maybe make it one of the biggest wrestling companies in the world. Sure. Yeah. So and not only that, Dave, but getting into the WWE, it's like the NFL. It's not an easy thing, right? So, and I'm not saying you couldn't make it. Look, you put your mind to something, you can do anything, right? Yeah. But
exactly.
But I think that's cool to have
Keaton,
that.
I'm going to give you
stick with the local. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm going to give you some advice that I give to my own kids.
Mm-hmm.
The only limitations that you have is what you limit yourself to. Right. Dream as big as you want and follow those dreams.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, because you're really the only person that's just to follow up on that with Dave. The only person that can get in the way of you accomplishing what you want to do is yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
And what I mean by that is when you start doubting yourself, when that happens, when you start second guessing things, that's the enemy within. And you just need to look past that and overlook, look beyond that and kind of get that tunnel vision for them moments so that you can see past all that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and not worry about those distractions, right?
Mm.
And that's what they are. They're just distractions. And anybody that tells you anything, like if somebody tells you, hey, you can't do this, take that as a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Like,
right, and see what you can, prove them wrong. I love doing, with the NWF, Dave. That was my favorite thing. When somebody said no, I figured a way to get around it. Figured another way to do it.
Exactly.
What's that?
Well, it's
it drives you more. You know to keep going, doesn't it? When people are telling you can't do it, doesn't it?
It's kind of like with me, Keaton. Years ago when we had an open forum in our old Facebook group, we had a Hall of Fame vote, and I never expected to get into it. But as I remember, there was one wrestler who said that I'd never make it into the Hall of Fame. And I'll tell you, Crusher, later who it was.
I can only guess.
Yeah.
SS.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a couple. There's been a few of our guys that have been in the league that feel that we should just decide who comes in our Hall of Fame. But, Keaton, if you knew me, you'd know, and Dave knows this. I'm not about to do that. I want the people that watch us now, our fans on YouTube, I want them to decide. That's how all of our Hall of Fames have gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it should be a fan thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when we had our last Hall of Fame vote, not the one that we just had in 2024, but the one prior to that, and this guy was telling me I'd never get in. I kind of took it as a challenge. If that Hall of Fame opens up again, I'm going to smash what he said.
But this is the last Hall of Fame, not only because they're a lot of work, but because there ain't going to be any more. Look, we were only around for about 4 to 5 years. We cannot keep having Hall of Fames every single year. So 4 of them's enough. But yeah, Dave made it, and that's good.
Yeah.
And the other guy still is sitting. The guy that told me I'd never make it is still sitting outside looking in at the Hall of Fame.
Just think, if you keep doing this and you keep going with Northern Ireland professional wrestling, and there might be another 30 or 40 years, and you're going to be doing the same thing we're doing. Just looking back at everything you accomplished with it,
Yeah.
And thinking back about things, I know you're in Northern Ireland. There's WWE superstars, former WWE Universal Champion who came from Ireland. You realize that, right?
Yeah, Vic Finlay, people like that, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking Universal Champion.
Oh, Universal Champion?
Came from Ireland.
Oh,
what?
Balor?
Yep. I know Ireland's not a huge area, but
well, and look at it.
You never know where you'll end up 10, 20 years from now.
But Dave, you know what though? They're not far from the UK. Wouldn't that be cool if someday with the UK kids training and these kids training that they could have a summit somehow and they have like a kind of a meetup and have matches? Wouldn't that be? So there's the promoter Crusher Crossen talking out loud again. That's what I would like to see happen, right?
Yeah, well, that sounds good. Like here, by the way, Nathan apologizes. His 4D could be the problem on his tablet at the Lions Den gym.
Yeah, I kind of figured he was having connection issues. I mean, he was trying to get in with us, but he just wasn't able to get in.
Yeah.
I had some questions for him, but if he can't get in, that's what it is. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, let's make sure we got everything. I want to make sure we covered all our questions. So, Keaton, who's your biggest? I guess we all have idols as wrestlers. They're our guy. Like for me, it was Hogan way back when he was genuine before he became too big.
Yeah.
Dave had his. Who's your favorite? Who's the one that you look up to in wrestling?
Well, obviously NWF were a big inspiration, but my favorite American wrestler or someone who look up to the most is maybe Vic Finlay. Big Damo and Tucker and them kind of guys who made it to WWE and stuff, and then some of the people who are and just all the NIPW wrestlers and all that are coming in as well, just to be like Lemons. So yeah, probably all them guys.
Sure. So you like to kind of that hometown pride, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
like seeing those guys making it because they made it big, and they came from where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Certainly relate to that. So Keaton, what is it? So I get, from what I understand, you can't have a match until you're 15 in this league, right? That you're in?
You can't. We've had kind of a match before, but it wasn't. But we're both wrestling with the adult wrestlers. Everyone done like their shirt and display, but it was a tag team match, and we're wrestling with the Canary Kid and John McCann, who are obviously a bit older. So yeah, we can't do it until we're 15.
So, are you looking forward to that time when you're 15, when you can actually go in and have a match? Is that like a kind of like your goal right now, your immediate goal?
Yeah, well, you know what? Because like I don't want to have a match too soon. I know I'm like good in the ring, but I want to be like amazing, like John McCann or Canary Kid still before I get into a match. And then when I get into a match, the crowd will be even more, and the fans will I'll be even better at that point. So I want to do a match when I'm ready. So yeah, I will be excited for when I'm 15 for doing a match.
Sure. And is part of your training gonna ever go over into doing promos and stuff?
Yeah, well, I've done one promo before. I had a character called the Kid of Rock where I was a heel, and I was doing a few spots with the Canary Kid in one of my displays, and I brought a message to him in one of my promos. Yeah, I think it might be on that.
Sure. And Dave, you're gonna say something?
You know, even when you first get in the ring, even if some of the people, you know, say you're nervous and you bumble a couple spots or something, don't worry about it. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing forward with your dream. I mean, as far as being technically sound, I wasn't the greatest guy in the ring.
Yeah.
You can earn that. You can learn that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I went back to before, you know, having the right attitude is so key because, and your coach would know this. He knows what I'm saying. If you have the right head on your shoulders and you're in it to win it, and you're just, I mean, I don't mean, when I say in it to win it, I don't mean win every match. I mean, win it as in being the best you can be in the business. And that doesn't mean win-loss record. That means selling, right? Ultimately, you know, here's the thing. And I learned this from Steve Engstrom when he came into our show. I learned from him, and he's an adult that came in that really shouldn't have been. But what I learned from him though was that Pretty Boy Taylor. But what I learned from him and Mr. X is you sell your butt off in the match. You sell, and it makes the match, and that's what I picked up from him. And then when we were both selling for each other, it becomes memorable matches. That's what you want to. Like, you know, I got that NWF World title back there, right? The blue one. I had it 5 times. Now, I remember winning it 5 times, but
also lost it 5 times.
I lost it 5 times. And my memories of losing it were almost as good, if not better, than when I won it, because I remember each guy I put over to do it. And how that happened, I sold it. I sold it in the ring, whatever the case may be. Selling's everything, right, Dave?
Exactly. I mean, being honest, Keaton, my win-loss record in the NWF wasn't the greatest. You actually go through and look at all the footage. I lost a lot more matches than I won.
Yeah, but the fans still wanted you to be putting it up in the NWF Hall of Fame. So yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
you know, now that's the thing.
If you can sell good, you can wrestle.
I was having fun in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Hey, Sky Sports Video News has a question for you, Keaton. He says he's curious. Are you a Conor McGregor fan?
No, I'm not the biggest Conor McGregor fan, no.
Yeah, he's kind of, he's a little bit controversial, I guess, right?
Yeah, the things he said about WWE wrestlers and stuff, and then
sure
on Twitter and all, it's a bit, I don't like him.
Gizmo wants to know, what do you think of backyard wrestling in the United States? And I'm sure he's referring to like that 90s craze of it, you know, that we had so much of it.
I don't like it. I think that when it was the Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Mick Foley, they were absolute extreme legends, and then people like other wrestlers tried to replace them and to do extreme backyard wrestling. It never worked out. It never works out for any more wrestlers from the ECW days. It just never works out. Backyard wrestling is literally one of those field wrestling things that you could ever see. I just don't like it.
I agree. I'm not a. However, I will say this: the backyard feds, they all weren't light bulbs and they all weren't thumbtacks. There were some organizations in that era that were trying to do more like what we did, but they got late. They got sucked up by all the garbage that was in there, right? And you just never really hear much of them kind of groups. But and unfortunately, backyard wrestling gives a real black eye to self-teaching and wrestling, and self-taught, Dave, is not unusual. Jerry the King Lawler, self-taught, was never trained. When he first came in. Bobby Eaton, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Bobby the Brain Heenan, probably one of the best workers. He was a manager, but he could work. You ask anybody of the old timers, they'll say he was the legend as a worker. Never trained. He was self-taught. He just knew he could do it.
Yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley as well. He said he was self-taught.
Yeah. That's the ones I could think of. But yeah, so
Jeff Hardy,
right?
Now join it more to Keaton's generation.
A lot of these guys did get some training too, though, later on, but they started out without any training and had their first pro match without any training. So my point is, that's not a bad thing, but unfortunately, backyard wrestling in the 90s just killed it. It just labeled everything horribly for that. Because those backyarders were doing it was all about they were so influenced by the ECW and the hardcore matches and everything, and they tried to be the the next Mick, like you said, Keaton, the next Mick Foley or the next Hardy Boys.
No one can replace them. Yeah,
and it's and then what happens is they hurt each other, and then it makes the news. Oh, these kids did these wrestling moves, and somebody's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how it just spirals out of control?
A lot of people thought you guys were doing it, but I know that backyard wrestling wasn't invented at that point. But a lot of the kid wrestlers and all sorts of wrestlers put a bad mark on wrestling at that point.
Oh yeah, it has.
Because they didn't know how to blade properly. They didn't know how to do a table spot properly, and wanted to be the next Mick Foley, or they wanted to do the next ECW stuff. But you need to know how to do that properly before you do it, obviously.
Right, and we
exactly.
When I wrote my book and documentary 20 years ago, I was constantly defending against backyard wrestling. The only reason I did it at the time is because I thought I seen those backyard DVDs and I thought I'm going to show them what was done before this. That was a lot better than what they're doing. But then, unfortunately, when I came out with that, people thought it was current, and they're like, "Well, this is backyard wrestling again." No, it's not. And like Coach Nathan was saying too, it even infiltrates into the indie leagues today, right? Sometimes they throw them in that camp. People that don't understand, that are not realizing what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, the Wader wrestling family gives me a sense of belonging. We all look out for each other. I love getting the chance, going to shows.
Oh yeah.
With all of the wrestling buddies and stuff like.
It's like the brotherhood. Dave, is there a comment?
Yep, I'm going to let you read it on the screen.
Keaton, do you have a secondary school wrestling team? Do you plan to join when you are old enough? He's talking about normal high school wrestling, kind of.
I would be the biggest fan of Olympic wrestling. I don't want to offend anyone here, but I just think it's rather boring. But
I hear you.
But the high school linemen, years ago they used to do wrestling. One of the teachers would tell me, but unfortunately now they don't do it no more.
Yeah, the school wrestling can be, a little. It can be a little. I don't know. It's a different kind of wrestling. It's more competitive. You know what I always said the competition was, and there is competition in pro wrestling. You know where it is. It's trying to one up each other, looking the best in the ring. And when I say looking the best, selling the best, right? Yep. That's where the competition is. Trying to really stand out to the promotion that you can sell. And everybody tries to do that. That's
because if you can sell good, you're a valuable commodity for the wrestling community.
Right. And Dave, when you can sell good, that spreads like wildfire. Like everybody here knows. Next thing you know, everybody wants to match with you because they want to have a good match, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There's an old wrestler who actually told me, if you tell your opponent, I'll make you look good, and then you make me look good, and then and that's what puts on a brilliant match. It always works.
You know, our hardest, here's the thing, Keaton, I'm curious. I don't know if you probably don't know this, maybe you do. But as people come in like the Canary Kid that are fairly young and new, is there any, do they struggle with, do they understand the philosophy of wrestling as far as putting somebody over? They realize that it's part of a bigger picture. Like they might be putting somebody over today, but there's a reason type of thing.
Yeah, the way, because like even with John McCann and the Canary Kid, when they had their match, John McCann was the first ever NXT recruit, and the Canary Kid understood that John McCann had to win after how long it took him to get to the journey, and the Canary Kid knew he'd won it one day, and then last month it all paid off. He won the championship, so yeah, I think they would understand we're putting over as well.
So, Keaton, this is a very interesting comment from Sky Sports Video News, and this is what I was telling you the other day on our private conversation. Most young athletes that wrestle don't have half the knowledge that you are showing in this interview. You would make a great announcer as well, is what he's saying. And I told you that. And listen to your match commentating on the matches on your channel. I picked up on that immediately. You'd be one of, like, if you were in the NWF, Keaton, you'd be one of the guys that'd say, you know, you can still wrestle, but I need you on the mic. You don't mind doing some play-by-play here when you're not having the matches? And yeah, because that's what we do. We'd pick out guys that could do that.
He'd be our Jason Clausen.
Yeah, or Chris Barger or Brian Ballamon. You need, because not every kid could do it. You get some kids on there and they didn't know how to call a match. So you have to get the right people. Yeah.
Jim Ross as well.
What's that?
Jim Ross as well.
Oh yeah, like Jim Ross. Yep, all those legends like that. Yeah. So I wish Coach Nathan was here. I was going to ask him, like, you know, do they have, maybe he has plans to, because here's the thing, Arnie, in the UK, they're wrestling matches right away. In slam wrestling over there. And I'm curious, maybe Coach Nathan would look at bringing the age bracket down a little bit just for some junior matches, you know, like just for openers, you know?
Yeah, so he has done something like that, the tag team match, obviously, but I think mostly he'd want to wait till we're a bit older, just so we're like, we know what we're doing and stuff.
Right. It's all going to be based on what your abilities are at.
Yeah.
Right. So it's where you're at in training. And I'm sure that's something that he'll make a call on if he sees that it could happen, right? It's all, you know, and I notice he's always there watching, so I'm sure he's keeping an eye on all of it, you know, so.
And if I was wrestling with one of the kid wrestlers, I'd be one of the taller ones, so it'd be quite hard for me to get in the ring and make it look good, because it would be hard to reach for them. So I don't think right now he'd be doing matches. Right.
Yeah, but you know, then again, you know, maybe there'll be other kids that come along that join in that are more your size too.
Yeah.
Or, you know, what you do in that situation, this is what we do in the NWF. You're bigger, okay, we're going to have you have a handicap match with the two littler guys. So then it makes sense, right? Yeah, there's ways to do it, right? Well, look at this. Let me give you this. Lightning Kid, Sean Waltman, 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah.
Went against Razor Ramon. Talk about a size difference.
I know that's X-Pac, isn't it?
X-Pac, yeah, that's how he got. That's how he broke in, right? That's how he made a name for himself, going against Scott Hall, and Scott Hall put him over as well.
I know. He was probably a jobber at that point as well, and like even a lot of like the smaller wrestlers didn't get a chance to show their ability, like Hornswoggle and stuff.
Yeah. What was that, Dave?
Well, no, I was going to say with Waltman, he just kind of. He sent WWE videotape. They liked him, hired him, and I believe it was Scott Hall saw how well he worked.
Yeah, Scott agreed to do it.
Videotape. Right? And Scott said, "Hey, let me put this kid over. Let's get him going."
Yeah, it was Scott's idea. I remember reading that.
Yeah, and that would be a great idea. Handicap match as well. Hopefully Nathan's watching. You give him a good idea.
That's what I would do. Again, promoter Crusher Crossen coming out here, and I probably shouldn't be saying these things because I don't run the Northern Ireland professional wrestling. But that's what if you were in the NWF, that's what I would do with you. I would say, okay, if you're bigger and we don't have somebody that matches up, or I would work a match just to make it, What I usually do with the bigger, I did it myself. I'd go against the lightweights and I would put them over, not so much in the win-loss, but I'd put them over in the match. I'd make it look like they're going to beat me and look like they're like this little guy's beating the bigger guy. What's going on here? And then make it look like they come close, right? That's to just bring them up, right? To bring them up to a better level.
No, exactly.
And getting back to our conversation, Keaton, about X-Pac, do you realize one of X-Pac's first opponents ever was one of our alumni?
It was one of our NWF guys.
Really? Who was it?
Slick Steenerson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Sean Waltman came into the PWA, Troy and I were there working at the time for Eddie and having matches. And so the cards I couldn't make, Waltman would be in there for me. So we'd like alternate. And he happened to be up. So he went against Troy. And it's an interesting story because Sean Waltman was brand new. He was just a young kid at the time, 17, I think.
Yeah.
And Troy, so Eddie said, Troy, I'm going to have you put him over. And Troy had been working his character all this time. He's PWA middleweight champion and stuff. And like, no, he goes, that's bullshit, Eddie. The kid just came in. I'm not going to put him over. So Troy stuck up for himself with Eddie. And then okay, fine. Then we'll do it no DQ on it. We'll just throw him over the top rope or something. He still had him win, but he didn't have him get pinned. That's what Troy was trying to get away from.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to stand up for yourself. And Troy did that night, which is good for him. Because Troy's usually the kind of guy that'll do what he's told.
That's some good.
And to think, Sean,
What would be the
Crusher, if Troy would have said yes, we could honestly have said that X-Pac had wrestled in the NWF ring.
It's true. That's true. What were you going to say, Keaton?
So what advice would you've given some really good advice, but what would be the biggest piece of advice you would give a young 12-year-old wrestler only starting out in the business?
Why don't you go first, Dave, and then I'll chime in.
What was that?
He wants to know what advice we would give him as a young 12-year-old kid just getting into the business. What's the advice?
Live a healthy lifestyle and follow your heart. As long as your heart's leading you down this path, keep following. Don't let anybody steer you away.
Yeah. And
my advice for you, Keaton, is the way I look at things like this. Kind of like what Dave says, follow that inner voice inside you that what your true goals are of all of this, and never lose sight of those goals. And like I told Arnie, if somebody asks, what's your goal in wrestling? Well, my goal is to be world champion. And I want to be the best I can be. And like I said, I don't mean win-loss record. I mean the best you can be. And enjoy it. If you're not enjoying this, it's not worth it. You have to really, truly enjoy it.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because there was a point, like with Crusher Crossen, he hit a point where he had to step away because he was fried with the business.
Yeah.
I had to step away for my own reasons.
Yep. Sometimes you have to take a break, and that's fine. Yeah. But always remember that you're in control of your own destiny. So you're ultimately the one that will make or break yourself. And you just have to. And then here's my other advice: when people start telling you what to do or giving their opinions on you, it's okay to listen to it, but don't let it dictate how you feel.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If, say 5 years down the road, somebody comes to you and says, pardon the way I'm wording this, but comes to you and it's a terminology here in the U.S. with wrestling. If somebody comes to you and says you're the drizzling shits, like, okay, thanks for your opinion.
Yeah.
And don't let it hold you back, because I've been told I was a drizzling shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? I kept going until I finally had the point where I decided it's time for me to step away.
But that comes back to where we say, though, you got to find your style. When you do find your style, because maybe your style might not be doing a moonsault, right?
Yeah.
You got to find what your style is in this, and then when you do, you'll know when you have it, and then you go after it and you be the best you can be at that style of a wrestler. The best. That's the advice, really.
There's people that will say Ric Flair isn't one of the greatest wrestlers of all time because he had the same match every day.
Yeah.
Well, you may not like seeing that same match, but that was his style, and that's what got him over.
Even when we're talking about selling her, Ric Flair sold so good in the ring, like.
Yeah, Flair would put anybody over. He just, Here's a comment from Gizmo. Keaton, thank you for coming on the show today. It's an honor to have such young talent like yourself on the show. You are showing that kids in Ireland have the heart of a champion like yourself, and like that logo I see, Lion's Den Pro Wrestling Dojo. It's very fitting that that's a lion there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So and I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same way that Gizmo just said there, that they're joining in and watching us here. This is earlier than usual, guys. So Keaton, we're probably gonna have to cut her off here now, and we have to get ready. Dave's got to try to make it on tonight, although we don't know if he will for our show later today because he had a long week. It might just be Crusher Crossen tonight. But guys, I want to show you what we're gonna do tonight.
Right. Thanks very much for having me.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, Keaton.
Yep. See you later.
Yep. All right. Now we are officially live once again here, and give me a second while I replace there we go. We got Jeff Dinsmore with us here. It's not Dixie Dave, it's Jeff Dinsmore, my tag team partner, Dr. Dread, in the house.
I'm better looking than you, Dave. Sorry.
Well, it's only fitting that you come in because it's a Dri-Dock episode, and Dave is just beat. He had to do a double, I don't know if it was a double shift or an extra long shift, but he had loaded furniture today, and he's just he needs the rest. So it's he asked if we could. So I'm just glad you stepped in, Jeff, because it's
I'm glad to be here.
That's good. Welcome everybody to the live portion of our show. Now, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Wrestling Revolution Keaton. What a great kid, huh, Jeff?
Oh my God, yeah, that kid is. I'll tell you what, he's going to be something. He's going to go somewhere.
He has the right attitude,
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's just so good, unbelievable.
And he's just starting out, but he'll get there. He'll get there.
Oh yeah.
You know how it is. I mean, you've done it too. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. He has it in him. So.
Yep. I want to thank you. Boy, we got the Hall of Fame. I had a good time. We had a good food. It was just unbelievable.
We did.
It was great. It was awesome.
In fact, I have a little slideshow to share that, since that's a great segue, Jeff. I'll bring it in right now.
All right.
This was our some pictures that we took. We all gotten together, folks. What was it? A couple weeks ago now, Jeff?
Yes.
3 weeks.
My wife's got hers. My wife's got the shirt.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame shirt. And I don't even have my NWF shirt. Thank goodness that Dave. If Dave was here, he'd be on my case.
Oh yeah.
There's Dave with this shirt, with this Hall of Fame shirt.
Cool.
There's me and you, Jeff, the one and only tag team, Crusher Crossen Dr Dread with the tag team belts.
Well, we look good in those belts, man. I'll tell you that.
Well, better than the Destructors. Let's just say that. They're not going to want to hear it, but
we could have beaten it, no problem.
Yeah, we did in Rochester, according to that newspaper.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
All right, and then got another picture here. There's Terry Kosnapple with the. I said Terry didn't have a belt to have. I said, Terry, hold you wear my NWF belt. So
yeah. I haven't seen him for a long time.
Well, he's just really a kid. He was a kid back then, Jeff.
Really good to see him.
Yeah. And by the way, that's my favorite NWF shirt there that I'm wearing.
Looks nice.
That logo. There's a Dixie Dave with Terry Kosnapple, one of our new Hall.
Oh, I tell you what, Dave. He really he grew up.
He'd be a good match for Grizzly Stevens back in the day at this size.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's doing now.
Grizzly, I still talk to him. Whoops. I went one too many. Let me go back.
There you go.
Dave and Crusher with Terry. You know, Terry, I just was great to see him again too, Jeff. I haven't seen Terry for so long myself, and I look at him and as I talk to him, you know, when you look in somebody's eyes when you hadn't seen for 20, 30 years, you can see that same person, right? It's always in their eyes for some reason.
Yep.
And I looked at him and I just brought me flashback right back to his apartment complex when we were training out in the courtyard, you know, getting him ready for the October show. It was like, wow. When I was 16, he was 14, I think. And
unbelievable.
We had to train in the grass in the open field, Jeff, because we couldn't set the ring up anywhere.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
Had to get him ready, though.
Oh,
and
gosh.
This one here, Jeff, you should remember this guy because you knew him. Mr. Macho, Mike Whaley.
Unbelievable.
And his U.S. title, he was the first holder of that belt.
Yep. Unreal. That's unreal. Where'd you catch him at?
He got a hold of me and we met up for lunch the next day in we're in Inver Grove Heights, not Inver Grove Heights. Trying to think of the name. Just off of 694 there by just east of Fridley.
I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh my God, good to see him too.
Yeah, he looks good with that belt too.
Oh yeah, there he is. That's awesome.
And then this was all Mike's idea. Now this is everything Mike said. Let's stage this picture shot. So he's he's getting that. He sees Crusher Crossen. He's getting that U.S. title wound up. Then he swings that U.S. title at Crusher Crossen. and then this was all Mike's idea. I'm going to remind you again.
That Crusher is awesome.
Prevails victorious. You gotta love it.
Should have the remember the WWE had a what the heck truth or whatever.
Yeah,
he'd always wanted he'd get 1, 2, 3, and then he'd go, and it was crazy. That was what it was like.
Well, let me. By the way, I see 412 Films is here. I think he's still here. We had some of the guys from Northern Ireland Pro Wrestling that's popped in earlier just to say hello. I don't know if they're still with us. Nick Infinite 1992. I see you out there as well. If you guys are still there, feel free to chime in. Gizmo's here. He's one of our regulars.
Hey, Gizmo, how are you?
He says, Crusher, I love the interview with Keaton today. He is a good wrestler and very well spoken. Wasn't he, though? Yeah, he was. He was.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Good kid. Good. Good head on his shoulders.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
I have one more slideshow, Jeff, to get through quick. This one ain't going to be quite as long. And this is, as everybody knows, last week marked our anniversary date of our very first Armory event. May 9th, 1986. The very first time I went to the Anoka Armory. There's some paper listings there and stuff. And this picture here, it's very interesting because if you look on the right ring post at the very bottom where the people's heads are and you just start going to the left, you'll run into one Dixie Dave sitting in the audience.
Oh, I see him right there.
Yeah, that's Dave.
Wow.
That's how he got. Yep, he was there as a fan, and I asked Dave. I said, Dave, you were as a fan. What was it? What is your memories of this event? And he goes, well, what was going through my head was the whole time was, how can I get to be a part of this?
Hey, you can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had an open door, even in the Dri-Dock days, like the show we're going to watch today. We had an open door policy, you know?
Yeah. I never.
But let's
take that.
I got a few pictures here to kind of go over with the Armory quick. There's not quite as many, but
awesome.
This is the ticket, of course.
Children 350.
Yeah, I did that intentionally. Everybody thinks it's a misprint, but I did that because I knew our audience at that time. I knew our audience was kids.
Yeah.
So I figured if there are going to be more kids coming, we need to charge more for the kids.
Yeah, but we need more tickets.
We need more tickets. I don't think that's the way to do it, but that's how I thought at that age.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
This here is the original flyer to that show. We made them ourselves. We just, back in these days, no computer, no printer, none of that stuff. So you had to make this kind of stuff and then go get to a print shop and have them make copies for you.
That's unbelievable.
I did the $50 cash drawing because I was so nervous. We wouldn't have anybody come to the show, and I wanted there to be an incentive. So we did these $50 cash drawings, but I think we would have been fine without doing it, even honestly.
Oh yes, that was unreal. Oh my gosh.
Let's see.
What did it cost you to get the Anoka Armory?
Oh, that was to rent the place for. We rented it a half day, run about $400.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not
today,
bad.
Yeah, and today they want about $800. So it's with inflation and everything. Here's a newspaper article in the Star Tribune, upcoming sporting events for Friday, and they're covering our event, which I thought was awesome.
Wow.
And then here's these pictures I restored to 4K, so for the first time, and I corrected the brightness on them and everything. So you can see here, we got Mr. Manthe, our graphic arts teacher, volunteered to be our cameraman for this event. That's CJ Pregler doing all the play-by-play, and he's standing up so he can see better. I see the NWF red, white, and blue ring bell by his feet.
That is awesome.
And then that little PA system, there's a speaker. We had a microphone run into this little stereo system into that speaker, and the microphone went all the way to the ring, and that's how Jason did his ring announcing. And the guy sat at this chair. Here's Jason Anderson. He did all our music. So there's a cassette player built into this. And that was how we did our music for that. Yeah.
Unreal. God.
And that's, primitive times in those days, but we had to work. And there's another shot of there. You can see that red, white, and blue ring bell really good.
Oh, wow. Look at that little guy.
Yeah, CJ.
Oh, yeah, my.
He would could make the big events because he lived way down in Richfield. He's my stepbrother, but he wanted to be in it so bad. So I let him become, do the play-by-play with us for all the matches.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ever wrestle?
No, he was too small and everything, and didn't really have the athletic ability to do it. But he wanted to be a part of it,
But he's a good announcer, though.
Yeah, he did all right. And then let's go to the next picture here. This is just a shot. People have seen the shot before, but this is the first time it's been restored. It's got all the clarity now that it never had before. Yeah. And then, 300 and some people in there. Like I can see a real good shot of all the people here.
I like the lights up here.
Yeah, Steve is the one that came up with that. We built the thing together, and then he's the one who figured out how to erect it. Because it's like, how are we going to get this thing above the ring, Steve? And he's like, I'll figure it out. So Steve did. He was real his ingenuity wise. He could figure this kind of stuff out. He figured out a system, and he pulleyed it up there. Yeah.
Did Rick Pitts, did he referee there? Or?
No, Rick wasn't involved yet. We still were using kid refs on this show, but the next Armory event and everything going forward, we used Rick Pitts.
What was he doing there?
Nah, you know who that one is there, right, Jeff?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Jim Mitchell, the late Jim Mitchell. Yeah, he showed up and was just poking it around, just curious. He's already trying to get his feet into the NWF, huh?
Right here. Yep.
Yeah, Jim Mitchell. People would know him in the AWA as the Iron Duke.
Iron Duke, or I used to call him the Iron.
And then, of course, in the paper, the results. We were so, it was so cool to see this in the paper. To see your card, Minneapolis Star Tribune giving us proper coverage. It was awesome.
That's great.
And then this was in the local paper, ABC Newspapers, Tom Yell. Big, huge write-up after this show, and there's a picture from the event. Yep, they did a
Tom Yell was a good guy.
Was it? Yeah, he was. He even covered us at Dri-Dock, again.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So, a little bit of slideshows, everybody, to kind of see, and
awesome.
I hope you guys like that.
Awesome. Yes.
So, Jeff, let's get our live stream going here. People want to see some wrestling action.
Let's get it.
So we're going to go to the Dri-Dock, everybody. Our show today is going to the Dri-Dock. Let me just get the information on it so everybody knows what we're watching.
The Dri-Dock was oh my God, that was such a fun pack. Oh my God.
Actually, I don't have the information. I'm just going to have to tell you. It was the Dri-Dock. It was on February 16th, 1988. Mm-hmm. And, I think I don't know if this was our largest crowd, but it was a big crowd on hand. So let's take a look at the Dri-Dock show here.
All right.
This is where the NWF. Hang on, Jeff. I got to bring you in again. Give me a second.
production.
There you go.
Oh, there.
Yeah, Bad Productions.
Hey,
Hey, 412 Films, I see you out there. It's good to see you back here again.
What is that guy's name? There's Uncle
Scott
Donnie.
Scott Dotzler and Greg Bushman. They were the two. They were my guys. I mean, I just brought them in to do all the mobile van stuff, you know, because I was doing all the editing of these shows, but I'd have them do the mobile van part of it.
Yeah. That was great.
I had a good relationship with them too.
Oh yeah, they were so good.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Dr. Dread.
Yeah, what's he doing there? There's Grizzly.
Let me bring this comment in here from 412 Films.
Oh, look at that! I got hair.
Thanks, man. I got your guy. So 412 Films, you got the DVDs or whatever we sent you, whatever you won from the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Oh, I got hair.
Yeah.
Lord.
Look at all those people, Jeff. Yeah, this was the biggest crowd. You just said it.
Yeah.
Largest crowd we ever had. That's Jeff Dinsmore right there, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I got hair.
Let's see. Gizmo wants to know how old I was on this taping. I was 88. I was 18. And you'll know, and this, everybody, I haven't made this announcement yet, but I've told you guys about this nasty scar I got on my forehead because I ended up juicing and it went south, right? I didn't do it right, and I screwed up. This is the show. You're going to see it. Thankfully, the cameras didn't get too much of a shot of it, so it's not going to freak anybody out. But it was, when I went to the back dressing room and I ran into Jeff Dinsmore, and the word had gotten to him. Jeff looked at me and he said, "You fucking idiot."
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, exactly. I know, I messed up, and I knew it.
You need to go to the hospital, as I told you.
Yeah, that's. But you guys will see it here. In this, yeah, I was 18 here, and this was. I did a few more Dri-Docks. After, I think I did like another 3 or 4 shows here, and then I ended up taking a break from it because my dad wanted me to go back to college. And so he really wanted me to start looking at that. So I took a break from wrestling after this for a while. Let's see. 412 Films says, oh yeah, so he got the DVD. And he says, and I was going to do an unboxing video on it, but I was wondering if you guys are okay with it and to give you guys a shout out. Yeah, do whatever you want, 412. If you want to do an unboxing, we'll play the segment for you. Yeah, if you want to do that, we'll put on the next show that we're on or whatever. I think that'd be cool, actually. I'd like to see, and also I'd love to see a shot with Gizmo and the whole crew with that, because they won the NWF National belt, that black one up there that Steve made.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see a shot with them with that belt. That would be cool.
Oh, Rick Pitts.
Yeah, it's a little dark right now, you guys. I think they'll fix the lighting on this a little bit as we get going into the show. In the band, they're tweaking things. Yeah, that's Rick Pitts in the bandit there. We're doing an little arm wrestling challenge. Yeah, you remember these arm wrestling deals they used to do back in the AWA? Hogan and Terra and all that stuff?
Yeah. I remember when the Crusher was on the Superstar. Billy Graham.
Oh yeah.
He was flat on the mat, and then he did it that way. It was pretty good.
I don't know if that's going to give him any extra advantage or not.
Yeah, 412. No, absolutely.
I don't know.
We totally would use that if you did that. I'm just reading the comments here.
Uncle Donnie. Oh, he loved it.
Wanted to make sure before he did anything it was okay for the clips.
Yeah.
To use the clips, and yeah, we would totally do that. And you can put them on your own channel, do whatever you want. But we'd certainly show it if you gave us a copy. You know, sent us a copy through Google Drive or whatever. So the Bandit and Rick Pitts. Now Rick Pitts was our referee. Rick had asked me way back in the day if he could ref, and I'm thinking to myself, an adult ref is a good idea. That would make it look more professional. I was always trying to make the show look better. And I thought I'm okay with that. And Rick was the kind. Everybody's thinking did Rick try to tell you guys what to do? No, Rick wasn't like that.
No.
Rick's
a good guy.
Yeah, he was a worker bee. You told him to do XYZ, he did XYZ.
Yeah.
He wasn't the kind of guy that's going to come in and try to call a shot.
No, exactly right. He was
I did have to. It was really awkward. I was 16 years old in July at the Armory, and Rick was plastered drunk. And I had to take Rick aside after the third match and said, Rick, you cannot show up like this drunk. You can't. I said, sober it up and try it again. Because he was screwing up finishes, Jeff.
Yeah.
Because all hell's breaking loose.
I'll never forget the time that yeah, I can't even tell you. Yeah, I can. Those white pants that he wore.
Yeah, he crapped his pants or whatever.
He crapped.
The worst color for something like that. No, Doug Summers, that happened to him too in the AWA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if the $5,000 is going to change hands. Back after this.
All right, so the arm wrestling challenge. Now the next match, guys, is the blading of Crusher Crossen blade job. That's gonna be the next match here. Yeah. You know, the thing is, okay, so I was 18 years old. I was old enough to do it, right? That was the deal. You had to be 18 to do anything like that. And I was so excited because it was February 16th, so I was old enough.
Yep.
And I got too excited, pushed too hard with that damn blade.
Yep.
And need I say more?
Yeah.
I got a big ass scar on my forehead to remember it by now.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was you effing idiot.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. I think I might have told you.
I'll tell the story as we get to it, as far as what exactly happened afterwards. It was quite a story as far as what happened after that. So there's Jeff Dinsmore playing ring announcer tonight.
Yep. I didn't think he wrestled. Dr. Dread didn't wrestle that. Oh, he probably did.
Oh yeah, no. He's on the show.
Oh, I did?
Yep.
Oh, here
we're
we
not.
go.
We're not in our tag team on this show because I'm doing this match. This is because you guys wanted me to. Because Equalizer is too green yet, so you wanted me to do all the kind of get in there and do most of this match because he wasn't ready yet. And then so I'm in. Yeah, he was green at this point, so I did most of the work in this match, but and it was an angle because Mystery Man and the Destructors are going to attack me, and that's what it's going to why I'm getting busted open. So you'll see this all unfold at the end of this match.
Oh God, yeah, I'll never.
Here's the Equalizer. Big good kid was chiseled like a.
Oh God, he was huge.
Yeah, for a 16-year-old kid, he was built like a rock.
Yep.
And we're going against Terrific Tim, who just passed away last year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
And the Mystery Man. Yeah, Tim just had some health problems and caught up to him, unfortunately.
That is sad.
And the Mystery Man, a good friend of mine to this very day, Leslie Johnson.
Yeah?
Yep, I still stay in touch with him, through Facebook and everything. So, yeah, and everybody's asking how old I was. I was 18 years old at this point.
Yeah.
How old are you, Jeff, at this point?
When you were at George's.
In George's and Fridley, I'd have been 20.
20? Yeah.
19 going on 20 or 20, depending on what match it was.
Oh, that was good.
This is the match. Gizmo says, this is the match that we have all been waiting for. They want to see that mess up that I did with the razor blade.
Yeah, you're going to see it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. It's not Mad Dog with Sean. It's the dog.
Right. Yeah, we got pretty good with our wrestling in these days, Jeff.
Yeah, we had pretty good, yeah.
I mean, the wrestling definitely was polished at the Dri-Dock. There's no question about that.
That was awesome, man. I'll tell you, that was unbelievable.
We had a really good thing going there. And you set this up, Jeff.
Yeah.
This was all you that got us this.
Yeah. Don Napier.
Yeah.
I see him once in a while.
Yeah. And I told our NWF fans too that when you wanted to tag up with me, that was you asked me. You said,
yeah,
you asked me, you wanted me to be your partner. You could have had anybody in the league be your partner, Jeff, but you picked me, and that was a compliment.
Because you were hot. I mean, you had it. You were awesome.
You know, and it was a great angle. I never knew the Vern Gagne Mad Dog angle, but we pretty much redid it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yep.
But I didn't know it at the time. I wasn't that well versed in the history of wrestling at that point in time. Because that was a 70s thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
When they did that. So here's the Eddie Sharkey corrected flying head scissors. I used to do it differently until I met Eddie. Eddie corrected me on that.
Yeah. Eddie was a good guy, or he is a good guy. And
that was like his move back in the day, and he knew right away I wasn't doing it right. He's like, no.
Yeah.
He came out with me and Steve. He stopped us. He's like, nope, not like this.
Yep.
Go like this, and he literally showed me how to do it. I'll never forget it.
Yep.
We're at his training camp.
He also talked about how to, headlock. Okay, don't be down here. Bring it up. Bring it up here. Bring it up.
Sell it.
Yep.
Gotta sell it.
Yep.
Why do you think? Dave made a good point. Why do you think we did the leg drops so much? Could you say Hulk Hogan maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was Hogan that influenced most of us on that.
Yeah.
It was hard to go off the top rope in the Dri-Dock because the ceiling height. Kind of like George and Fridley.
Yeah, absolutely.
George and Fridley had that same problem.
Well, we had some good shows there, though. Wow.
Yeah.
We had quite a while to going, too, I think.
All right, this match is getting close to the end where this is all going to go hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Terrific Tim was a strong kid, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
All those young kids we brought in were.
Right there, ain't it? Yeah.
What's that? That's Terrific Tim right there. Yeah, in the ring with me.
That's unbelievable.
We got to get the equalizer in here, though. I was telling those kids that, man, they got to get wrestling boots though, because that'll help protect their ankles.
Yes.
Now, here comes the equalizer. Look at this kid.
Oh, he was chiseled. He was.
But he just didn't know enough to be in a whole match. That's why we did this with him like this.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is pretty much going to be it, guys. So
Giz won't watch it. Here he comes.
I should have did an interview or something. At least for all I went through with this, I at least could have got a good interview out of it. But I was. So what's going to happen is we won.
Yep.
And the Destructors come in, kind of ambush us, and then Equalizer is told to stay out of it. That's why he doesn't really help me. And so they hit me with the chair outside the ring, and this is where the business is done. And you're gonna see. I wish we had a better camera shot of it, but there will be a shot enough that you'll see the color.
Yep.
So I can see blood on the arm of Leslie. That's my blood.
Yep. There you go.
Into the ring post. So the Equalizer just kind of leaves. I remember he told me in the back, I didn't mean to just leave you, but they told me to, stay out of it. Because he didn't want to screw up the angle, right? Yeah, he was so new. He just didn't know.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So now I'm kind of chasing Leslie, but
there you are.
So here you'll see the camera shot of this. This is not good, folks. You can see where the blood was coming.
Yeah.
It was just like a waterfall of blood on my forehead.
Did it hurt?
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, I just seen that again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they went to the commercial.
I'll tell that. So what happened is you see me heading to the back. As soon as I get into the back dressing room, there's Jeff Dinsmore. And he looks at me and he sees that this cut was way too bad because my skin was just separated, remember, Jeff?
Yeah.
And you just you shook your head and you said, "You fucking idiot." And what he meant by that, guys, is we have this gig at the Dri-Dock. We don't want to have something like this wreck it. right?
Oh, yes.
That was where Jeff was going with that.
That's right.
So anyways, then I'm realizing I'm in the mirror looking in the bathroom back there, and it's not stopping. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to stop bleeding. So they got me some gauges and bandages and wrapped my head around with towels and stuff. And then I went out into the other part of the Dri-Dock and was laying on a bench. And Chris Downs' mom, the Ice Dragon's mom, came over and she says, "You need to get to the hospital."
Yeah.
No, I'll drive you.
Yeah.
And so herself, along with Jay Downs, Chris's brother, drove me to the hospital down there right by where your house is, Jeff.
Unity. Unity Hospital. Yep.
Went to Unity. It was the closest. And my whole thinking this whole time, I'm still in my wrestling boots and wrestling gear, and I'm like, we got to get in here, get the stitches or whatever, and I got to get back because I got another match.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just wanted to get back. So we get to the emergency room, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the guy next to me was stabbed from trying to catch shoplifter.
Yep, that's right.
And he's waiting. And he was stabbed in the back. I couldn't believe it. So we finally get in, and the doctor looks at it and he says, "What happened?" And I'm here I am in wrestling boots and everything. I'm like, well, I believe what happened is I went to he put me in the turnbuckle, my head in the turnbuckle, and a wire was hanging out and it caught my forehead. I just what I could think of. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, that's a kind of a fine cut. I don't know about that, but we'll get you taken care of." He knew exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So he took care of it. By the time I got back, they were tearing the damn ring down.
Yeah.
I missed it. I missed the second take, and and that was where I was upset.
Yep.
So what happened was I made money off this, Jeff. You know how? Because when I got home, I think I told the insurance company, my dad's insurance, that had to pay for the medical bill for the hospital. I said I was changing the oil in my car and caught my forehead.
Oh my!
That's what I told them. And they said, "Okay, well, we think that's going to be an auto insurance claim," but they ran it through anyway. Then I claimed it through my auto insurance. They both paid me. So the hospital got their money, and I got the other half of it. So I made money off the whole thing. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Okay. That's unreal. Well, this was Ernie and Steve, whatever his name was. Payette.
Yeah, Steve Payette. We'll talk about him in a second. I got a comment from Gizmo. He's asking it. He goes, "That's a lot of blood. Did you cut too deep?" Absolutely. I cut so deep that my skin separated. You could see my skull. Yeah, it's not good. It was only about an inch, but it was an inch too deep. Like too.
Yeah.
These are surgical razor blades, you guys, the flimsy ones, super sharp.
Yeah.
And you cut them up in a way where you got just a little bit to work with. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I didn't. Jeff, that was the last time I ever juiced. Never did it again.
The thing of it is I never juiced because the mask didn't work. But,
right.
But they twist. You shake.
Right, or you just lightly braised, right? That's what Keaton would do. And just your sweat and everything will do the work. Well,
Heaton was so good though. Oh my God, Heaton was just
Now, you were saying Steve Prater, whatever. This guy that's in the ring, the worst guy to work with out of everybody ever tried.
Oh yeah.
And the reason he was bad is he didn't sell for you. Like I said to the kids, Jeff, you got to sell for your opponent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
we did. We did that.
Yeah.
Grizzly was good. Grizzly was not. I have nothing negative to say about Grizzly Stevens.
I thought he was really good. Yeah, and his tag team also with.
That is the key to beating the Russians because they're so
the
longer they're on the mat.
Oh, the Predator.
Predator. Yeah.
I forget his name, but that's him in the corner there. Actually, he's in the tag match. Predator. But no, Grizzly was a really, really, really nice guy.
Yep.
Too nice to be a heel, and even though he did try it.
Yeah.
But he's a face right now, a baby face, but he would go heel eventually.
I think the Predator, he was
a bouncer.
He was all right. Yeah.
For his
normal.
Yeah. He was a nice guy too. I remember I ran into the Predator and yourself at George's and Fridley.
Yeah,
you guys were there.
Yeah, you and I went to see that.
And I remember you told me, Jeff, that day you said, let's get the NWF going again. Let's start it up.
Yes. He was ready too.
Yeah. I remember when I ran into the Predator at George and Fridley, he's like, he's still got it. He's still got it. He kept telling me. He was a nice guy too, the Predator.
Oh, God, yeah. But now with Steve Payette, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't bad. He had a couple of good...
in that little series.
But yeah.
But remember, he's working with other bigger guys. When he's in there with like you or I, they just kind of have their way with us.
Yeah. Yep. Ernie was good, though. Ernie was awesome.
Yeah, Ernie, he was better. But even so, part of Ernie was like, you know what? We're bigger than you. We're going to have to,
Yeah, exactly.
We kind of try to manhandle us a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, though, I didn't have nothing against Ernie. Ernie was always good to me.
Except with Ernie, though, he was... Oh, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
Yep, that's Ernie in there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Ernie was much better at taking bumps. Like, the bear couldn't take them.
No.
But, geez. I know. I thought that it was going to come off even. It'd always make that noise. And you think you're breaking the ring, but it's just the noise it would make. It was an old rickety ring, wasn't it, Jeff?
Oh, my gosh, yes. But it was good. It was. Oh, my. Yep.
The very first professional-style ring we ever got.
Yeah.
We got it in '86. And
yeah.
We used it a lot in the NWF in all these years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
You know, Ernie still does it to this day. He promotes it and stuff, has his own, like, indie league. And his son's in it now, and his son is in the audience. I see him jumping up every now and then. He's right by the commentating booth. He's just a little guy right now. He just went running by there. But he's now in it himself. And that's Ernie's son. Yeah.
That's unreal.
Well, obviously, I mean, he's a little kid getting influenced with his dad and this and all this at this point. You know he's going to make his way into the business.
Well, I think
well, there he is right there. Just went by the camera.
Yeah.
That's Ernie's son.
He must be like 70.
Who, Ernie?
Ernie.
Yeah, he is. I don't know how old his son would be right now, but
yeah.
Oh man, just seeing that stupidity on my part in that match with that stupid razor blade business.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? It was the first time we did it.
Yeah, and I just was too anxious, too excited for the deal, and just
yeah.
It's beginner's error for the juicing part of it. But juicing was a fad. It was the thing. It was like everybody's doing this. This is a new thing. And if you're 18, you can do it. So it's like, I was 18. I want to do this, right?
It's all right. Yeah.
It was like,
but you know what? With these, the match right here now, okay? It had a story. It had it definitely had a story. There was something. It wasn't just,
We got the Rack and Roll Express commentating right here. Chris Barger and Mike Bauer. They were great.
Yep.
Now, which man's the legal man in the ring, Mike?
That's Chris Barger talking right there. Yeah, largest crowd ever at the Dri-Dock, Jeff.
Yep. What, 100 people?
Well, remember, they were also in that other room watching it on the closed circuit on the other TV thing that we wired up. So they could see it over there, too. Yep. So I don't know how many people were there, but still. About the same similar crowd that would be at George's and Fridley, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just a small venue, so you can only get so many people in there. But
the thing of it is we could have it anytime you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't cost nothing. It didn't cost anything.
Did they? Was there any money made for the NWF and any of this? Did they get anything? I know they were paying the guys after a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But a little bit. He'd get like $50 or something like that. But
right.
It was just everybody wanted to be on it. Everybody
Right.
wanted to be on the show.
It wasn't about the money. Like, I never, ever asked for any money.
I don't think I ever made anything, really.
Right.
I did. Because it
was just the fun of being a part of it, really.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Oh, he had a chain.
Yeah.
He had a chain, and he just knocked out Grizzly Stevens.
Uh-oh.
So look at the Potato Man here. He's got a...
Oh, boy. I think he's telling him what he's going to do now.
Oh, I think Grizzly juiced here, too.
Oh,
in fact, I know he did.
That. Yeah.
See, like I said, it was a new thing. Everybody wanted to do it.
Yep.
Steve was doing it. You know,
Engstrom.
And he had that blonde hair, so he totally wanted to get that whole thing going.
Yep. I think he's
the crowd chanting USA.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, now Chris just got caught on that he was cut open.
Yeah.
But see, it should have just been a pin. Here's where we kind of screwed up, Jeff. This match should have been over already. They should have got pinned because he got hit by the chain. That should have been the finish.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, come on. That's it.
Throw that potato out of the ring if you can.
Look at that. There he is.
Grizzly's just selling it. This was the 80s, guys. This is wrestling in the 80s, though.
That's right.
I don't want people to freak out right now. It's just because there was always color. We even used the fake blood back in the day. Because that was part of the style back then. You got color a lot in that time frame, right, Jeff?
I remember when the AWA, when the Crusher getting blood, and
yeah,
a lot of people said that's fake blood. No, that's not fake. No way.
Yeah, or they used to think they thought maybe they took capsules or whatever, but Keaton said, what would you do if you had a packet of blood in your pocket and it burst? It looked like you'd had your period.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Dustin Rhodes. Oh my God, he was. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
did
my.
a lot too.
He had so many of them.
See, the thing is, when we get color, we should do interviews. That's where I screwed up. Hopefully, Grizzly does an interview here.
Yeah.
Because you want to sell the fact that you had this, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep. No doubt. That's unreal.
We got Dr. Dread coming up. Your match is coming up yet.
Yeah, that's right. Because he was
Dion.
He was gone now.
Yeah, I'm on my way to the hospital. There's Chris Barger right there, folks.
Yep. We're back on NWF Wrestling. And right now we've got a spectacular match.
He was good.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, making his
shot at our fans.
Debut, the Beast from the East, nearly 7 feet tall.
Oh, Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla.
He is Godzilla.
He wasn't good.
He was a huge guy.
Oh my God, yeah.
They had me pose for a picture for the paper with him. Remember, he put me in a headlock.
I remember that. Yep.
And it was like, this guy's like a size of a skyscraper to me.
Yeah.
That's why Tom Yell wanted to do that picture, because he knew that would be an awesome picture. You know, small guy, little guy.
Still waiting for
Here he comes.
There he is. Godzilla making his NWF appearance.
Godzilla, look at this guy.
Oh yeah. Who's the manager?
Very. I don't know who his manager was, but that's with him there. But Godzilla, huge. But green, really green.
Yeah.
Like, didn't know anything
Have you
yet.
seen him now? Oh boy.
I know, you showed me the picture.
Oh my.
Everybody knows he lost all this weight.
Unreal.
And luscious Larry. Now look at Larry. See, this is where Larry kind of made. He's trying. What is he with all that stuff on his arms and everything, and the headband? Just Larry didn't need to do all that. You know, when I brought Larry in October, I just told him just black tights. He's like, "What should I do?" She's like, "Well, no, that's black tights. Just you are the attraction. Your size, your body. You don't need all this fancy glitzy stuff." And then he wanted to do it, so he gets all this headband and armbands and all this stuff.
Head went.
Yeah. Let's see comments here. Gizmo's asking, Crusher, with all this blood, did anyone know about or worry about HIV with which started in this country about this time.
Yeah, then.
Not back then,
Yeah.
though. Like, we heard of it. I remember hearing about AIDS and stuff, but it was so minor at this point in time.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
rare that you never even thought of that. Now, today, this is probably why they don't do it so much today, because it's more of a problem today.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I see that the referees have the gloves on all the time.
Right. And you don't need to. The wrestling doesn't need to have color. They've evolved out of that. So
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
need to do that. And that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They were fun matches, though. You know, when somebody got busted open, like Hogan's busted open, he's busted open, they'd say on the AWA, and they're like, oh, man. And it would get you that much more mad because you wanted to get in there and make sure to see the rematch to have him keep his tail for doing that, right?
I remember when Hulk Hogan never, ever bleeded. He never got color. Never. Until somebody he had hit I can't remember who hit him. I think it might have been Dr. D or whatever his name was.
No, it was in the AWA. I think it would have been like...
Yeah.
The time I've seen him get color was when he went against... When they beat him after he won the Battle Royal. The whole Heenan family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like quadruple teamed him. Yeah.
Yep. No, Gordy with no shoes. Your nose goes
barefoot.
No.
Couldn't get wrestling boots big enough for him.
No.
Yeah. But Larry, you know, Luscious Larry, if he just would have followed direction, he was so over after the October 18th card when I had him on there at the beginning. He was so over. And if he just would have listened to reason, he could have kept going and going with it. But Larry thought he knew everything after a while, and that's what really ruined it for him. Right, Jeff?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. What to say here?
Oh, let's see here. This Sky Sports Video News says this episode loses the feel of kids wrestling. It is still entertaining, but loses the fun aspect of the kids wrestling. Were the kids in this armory? Well, this isn't an armory. This is a Dri-Dock. And there are still kids. We're going to see them. The Destructors, as a matter of fact, are in the main event here. So there's still going to be some kids coming in. But when I say kids, it's 1988, so they're now, like, the Destructors are now 16. So they're in this still. We have some of the other newer kids that came in that were like 16. Chris Logan, Tommy Tucker. We're going to see them coming up. Yeah, there's adults here too with it. That's what the Dri-Dock was. It was a mix. It was kids and adults.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we didn't call them kids. We called them the junior division.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
The only thing we got rid of, the only thing we didn't have at this point were the real little kids, like Super D's and those kind of guys. But you'll see here coming up in the next few matches, Sky Sports. You're right. I know where he's coming from here. It's losing the kids wrestling feel.
I wish it would have been that way.
Right, Jeff. It's not. You know, you and I weren't calling the shots here. It was Ernie. And you know, it was his league at this point. He bought the ring, so he made the calls on what was, you know, who we're going to have, who we're not going to have, and all that kind of stuff.
However, I had quite a bit.
You had influence, and I did too for the TV side of things.
Yeah.
But because it was my time slot and everything, and I had the production crew and all that, and I did the editing. My only thing with Ernie was when he didn't listen to me when we could have went to LO. We could have moved off of public access and went on to local origination and started advertising. I could see it. I could see that we could actually make some more revenue this way. We could get advertisers, and we could actually make more money. But Ernie felt bad for the crew because we're going to lose that crew. Scott Dotster and Greg Bushman. He felt bad for him, so he caved. I told Greg and Scott, you guys can just work for LO. You can still do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's this?
Oh, Hitman Hernandez came in and Pearl Harbor Larry. We're building up that angle.
Hernandez, yeah. He was a head case.
He was.
He was. Yeah, he was a head
case. Just a hot handle outside the ring to deal with. But he was a good character in the ring and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was. Uh-oh.
Who's gonna come in and make the save? I don't even remember this. Somebody's got to come in and make the save here. Well, maybe nobody makes the save.
No.
Nobody wants to help out Luscious Larry.
Oh, Uncle Donald's going to come in here and take care of things.
Here's an interesting question from Damien. Hey, it's good to see you, Damien, by the way. Thanks for joining us live again. I always appreciate it when you guys come in, all of you, when you join us live. That goes for Gizmo and Sky Sports and everybody. Crusher, how much control did you have in the development of this taping? My control was the editing of the production, the technical side of the production, you know, for getting it all put on cable and getting it distributed, and new wrestler development. So when you see guys like Chris Logan, Tommy Tucker, which you're going to see coming up here, those guys I personally worked with in the ring because Jeff would send them to me and says, these guys are new. You got to get their feet wet. So before the tapings, 2 or 3 hours, I'd be constantly working with these kids. They're just a couple years younger than me, and I'll show you who I'm talking about as they come up on the show here. At least I think we have Chris Logan on this one.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to see. I could be wrong, but that looks like Dixie Dave.
Yeah, it does. That is him.
I was gonna say that. I think that's Dixie Dave.
Yeah,
he's there. I don't know if he even realizes that he was at a Dri-Dock show. I got to tell him about that. Did you guys see that? That was Dixie Dave.
That was him.
Because he always said, no, I never was at the Dri-Dock. Well, he was. I thought I remembered him. By the way, there was Jamie McParlin. I just seen Jamie McParlin go by. So he was there. I just don't know if he wrestles on this show. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah,
I know we got the Destructors. This next match has got to be the Dr. Dread match. It's you and Dion against Tommy Tucker, maybe? And
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Tommy. He was a good kid, too. I liked him.
I worked with Tommy Tucker. I just remember working with Tommy Tucker, Terrific Tim, and Chris Logan.
Yep.
Chris Logan a lot, actually, because Chris really, Logan, we could have done things with that, Chris Logan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He had the charisma.
Yep.
So yeah, that was my involvement. Like they would just send me the guys to help them get them ring ready, and then shot of our crowd.
That's the Equalizer mom right there.
Oh,
yeah, Equalizer.
Yeah, a lot of friends and family in there, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Lots of people piled in there though for the wrestling.
Oh yeah.
We advertise it on the show and everything. So it's like,
now these kids, these are kids.
Yeah, there's Chris Logan, that guy, the blonde-haired guy there.
Yep.
That is and then Ice Dragon's coming out with them. Oh, it's going to be the Ice Dragon and Chris Logan. Okay. Yeah, but Chris Logan, this blonde-haired kid, with the Ice Dragon. That's Dixie Dave. That is totally Dixie Dave.
Right here.
Folks on the white shirt.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-oh. Brody Hunter, Dion Dallas, and Dr. Dread.
Oh, it's a 6-man. Dion, Bounty Hunter, and Dr. Dread against Ice Dragon, Chris Logan, and Tom Tyler. Tom Tyler, you guys, is one half of the Barbarians. Our tag team, the Barbarians. Thandar. That's what he went by when he joined. Remember, he was on our garage shows and stuff.
Yep.
That would be Tom Tyler.
Oh,
so I'll point him out. Yeah, there's
Jerry.
Dion. Yeah, and Jerry, the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Yep. And Dr. Dread. The reason the Bounty Hunter's in there is because Crusher Cross is in the dang medical center trying to get stitches.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Thanda right there. The shorts, just funky looking 80s shorts.
Dr. Dread with red.
So see, let's look at how much he's grown, you guys, from back in the garage days, right?
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah.
Here's a question from Sports Talk 117. One of the things missing in this taping is interviews with the wrestlers before or after the match. Absolutely. I don't know why we weren't doing them.
Yeah.
because that did make the show have an interview. We usually would do little aftermatch interviews live. We usually did them.
Yep.
I don't know why we're not doing them here.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, Chris was Chris was good in the ring. He could definitely. I noticed he's got my boots on. You see that? Those are Crusher Crossen's boots. What's that?
Yeah, those are your boots. You see who the manager was there?
No.
That was my brother, Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends on Facebook. Dr. Dread going to town here. Who's the referee there, Jeff? Do you know? Recognize that? I know the face. I just can't think of the name.
I don't remember his name. Doggone it. He was a friend of Larry's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to take pictures for Larry. He's Larry's photographer way back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Remember that guy now. I knew I'd seen him before.
Yep. Here comes
the bounty hunter. Yeah, that's right. That's Steve, your brother Steve in the corner there.
Yeah, yep. I remember when he had a cane, like a pool cue. I hit him one time. I mean, I really hit him really hard.
Well, that's like a pool ball.
Yeah,
it'd be like hit with a rock.
Oh yeah, those are your boots.
Yeah, he's got my boots on. So we would share the boots for the other guys, other kids and stuff, so they could all have boots. It just looked better for the show.
Yep.
I know the Equalizer had my boots one time for one of his matches.
I think Dion, he bought his, I think.
Yeah, Dion had the skull on him or whatever. I wonder if he still got those.
I think he probably did.
Dion's energy level in these days was really good.
Oh, yes.
You know, for a $1.25 at most, maybe. He had a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Uh-oh.
So Chris Logan, he was like I said, I worked with all of them, but I remember Chris being something I'm thinking like, this kid could go places. He's got it in him.
Yep.
He's really got it.
Yeah.
Not that the others, not that Tommy Tucker and the others didn't. But Chris, just something special about him. He had the charisma factor.
Yeah.
This blonde haired kid here.
Something that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw that Dread provoking. All that did was make Logan mad.
Oh, you go. Dr. Dread. I wasn't cheating.
You can't think clearly, you can't wrestle clearly.
I was not cheating.
Face lock now by Dr. Dread.
I never cheated.
That's the thing. It's like I started getting booed at first when we tagged up Jeff. You know?
Uh-oh. No, watch this. This was legal.
And I would, Crusher Crossen would do the same thing here too, though.
Oh.
The camera didn't even catch it.
No, it did. Well, I hit him in the middle.
Trying to claim you got him in the stomach, huh?
Oh, yeah. Now I think he's going to bite. Oh, yeah, he's going to bite him now. No.
So, yeah, Chris Logan, I'm going to say is 16 here, right, Jeff?
Oh. Yeah, yep.
He was one of the bartender's sons. From the Dri-Dock. That's how he got into it.
Yep.
One of the girl waitresses.
He was good.
Yep.
Oh, that was a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that was like, I thought it was going to be a stunner, but it turned into like a neck breaker. Tim was a roughhouse man. If he clotheslined you, you're going to feel it.
Yep. He was good, though.
Yeah, he was. And I think the next match after this, you guys, is going to be the Destructors against Pretty Boy Taylor and Ravishing Wrestling.
All right.
Yep.
Ravishing,
he was just somebody I think Steve found. Steve still claims to this day that was a wrestler down south. But I'm telling you, man, I can tell somebody who's been in the business and who hasn't been in the business. 412 Holmes is back. Good to see you again, 412.
Right.
But no, this Steve, he came in with this ravishing wrestler. Steve wanted a partner, so I think he just found him in the bar, Jeff. But he brings him in. He's like, I said, "Who's that?" I go, "Who's that guy?" And he's like, "Oh, that's Ravishing Rusty. I brought him up from down south." Steve talking.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "It's down south." I said, "Okay." Then I watch him in the ring, and I'm like, "This guy didn't come from down south. This guy didn't come from any.
No.
He just didn't have any workability."
No.
I could tell that he was smartened up a little bit by Steve, but he was not trained. So it's saying once again, Steve kind of feeding us a line of shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But look. Say what you want about Steve. I don't think anybody bumped any better than Steve Engstrom in our wrestling.
No, he was no way.
He was
He
so
could have gone to the NWA. He could have.
as a manager for sure.
Yes.
And then take the bumps as a manager. He could have been the next Bobby Heenan for Vern.
Yes, exactly.
But Steve didn't have the intelligence to do that. He didn't.
No.
He didn't have the smarts to be able to figure out to get his foot in the door over there.
Yes, exactly.
If he did, he would have. Right?
Yep, exactly. Yep, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Outlaw Dion Dallas.
Yep.
Remember how we brought him in? I was doing an interview. Then he come out and he got mad because I was taking all the TV time and he slapped me right out of the chair.
Yep, I remember it. Yep.
Dion and I had a small little angle there in the first Dri-Dock taping. We had a match.
Yep.
I don't have those tapes though. Of that. I have the slap, but I don't have the wrestling match we had.
Yeah. Well, he had a good chop, so he was.
Oh yeah. I had the Ric Flair chop.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Looks like Tyler might be going after him. And he comes back.
Uh-oh.
Dragon favoring the inside of the thigh. I'm not so sure he didn't pull a hamstring or burn some.
Yeah.
He's favoring that thigh. Now here comes Dread again.
Here comes Dread again.
412 Films says, keep me posted on the unboxing video on Facebook Messengers. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Uh-oh.
It'd be cool to show that as well.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And Gizmo says, the energy level in this match showcases the wrestlers' advanced wrestling moves. This looks more like a professional wrestling match. Yeah, they've definitely evolved, right? I mean, all the hard work and all the trying in the ring and everything else, it's all kind of come to fruition at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And, it's very presentable. This is basically an indie league at this point.
See, I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating.
But this is, as kids, we had to grow into it, right? We couldn't stay kids forever.
Exactly.
And that's really what we're seeing here. Although I really wish the Super Ds would have grew into it more. They would have been so good.
Oh, God, yeah.
Professional soccer players eventually. I mean, man, they were athletes. Yeah, so, of course, Dr. Dread and company get the win.
Yeah, that's right.
And here I am stuck in the emergency room trying to get these stitches taken care of when all this is going on. The only thing going through my mind, Jeff, that whole time at the hospital was, let's get this done so we can get back, because I have another match.
Yes, yeah. And that was supposed to be your match.
Yeah, that was this one right here. There.
Yeah.
Whoa, he landed on his head.
Oh, whoa.
What the heck did Dion do there?
Jeez, right.
And there's Dixie Dave, folks.
Yep, that's him.
What is he doing there? He must have just came.
Yeah.
He's helping everybody to the ring and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the Destructors against Pretty Boy Taylor and Ravishing Rusty
Wow,
Rowe.
that'll be good.
Rusty
I'll tell you
Rose.
what, Steve Engstrom was so good.
Look,
he really was.
He made some of my matches so memorable.
Oh,
as yours and everybody.
Yep,
yeah,
no doubt. Yeah.
There was nobody in our league that could sell like he could.
No,
that's the truth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yep.
I learned a lot from him.
Oh, heck yeah. Yep, no doubt.
412 Film says this looks like a great match coming up. The Destructors against Taylor and Ernie's kids there again in the front row. That are now professional wrestlers in the indie scene as we speak. They're with Ernie's league.
Yep, he was. Oh my! Now that was the blonde right there. That's his mom. Equalizer.
That you were mentioning, yeah.
Yep.
Notice all the kids here. Lots of kids here.
Oh, kids loved it.
Yeah, they were big fans of the NWF in the early days.
Yep.
Even the later days like this.
Yeah.
Look at Ernie's kid. You can tell that he's going to be a wrestler.
That's Ernie's kid, ain't it? No.
Yeah, in the gray shirt.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep. He's now a wrestler.
Yeah. Unreal.
Okay. Just in the indies, you know.
Yeah.
But enjoys it, I guess. And
they had all the lights, and it was so cool. It was unreal.
Yeah, so I hear Steve's music.
Here he comes.
So here he comes with this ravishing wrestling guy who he claimed was a wrestler from down south that he brought up.
He was so green.
You'll see when he comes in the ring, he doesn't have wrestling boots.
No.
That's one of the telltale signs. If somebody's in the business down south, they're going to have boots. Yeah, Steve got to watch it. Sometimes he pushes people too much and they'll push back.
Yeah.
He's not a big guy.
No.
Um,
are the World Tag Team Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, unknown.
That was a neat comment from Damien.
Yeah.
Look at the age difference in the audience. You have young kids and grandparents all coming together to have a good night out.
Yeah.
Boy, I miss those days, huh, Jeff?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Just that statement right there. You know, we don't see that as much anymore.
Yeah. No, you don't. No.
So here's the Destructors. They're going to be about 16. There's Dixie Dave.
Yes. He said he never went there.
Yeah, he's definitely there.
Now these are kids.
Yep, they're 16, I'd say. Now John Hoffman at this point was well into Golden Gloves boxing. He did that first. And he would go on to nationals and he would become a professional boxer. That guy in the camouflage. He became a professional boxer, and he also promoted it in Metro heavily.
That's it.
Trained a lot of boxers. Yeah.
Awesome.
The next card here at the Dri-Dock is March 8th. Starting time 7 o'clock. That's March 8th.
Before 12 Film says, following up with Damien, he says the fans look like amazing fans, and I can tell they had an amazing night in this tag team match.
Yep. This was the main event, wasn't it?
Yep. It's the main event.
Yep.
Oh, my only problem with Steve and his character is he tried to be a tough guy. What he should have been is he should have been the weasel. He should talk tough, but then when tough came to tough, he was running his tail hide and get out of there, save his hide. He should have been the total Keenan style. That would have, because Steve wasn't a big guy. He did this with Larry too. He tried standing up to Larry, and I kept telling him, Steve, they want to see Larry beat the crap out of you. You're the Bobby Heenan here.
Yes, exactly.
People used to always comment on that hair spot on the back of Steve.
I don't get that.
I asked him once. I said, Steve, what is that exactly? Because I wanted to make sure it wasn't contagious. I just, what is it? He goes, it's a birthmark, and it just, because it's a birthmark, it grows hair. Just a big birthmark he has there. But people, I remember Jason Klassen of comedy goes, look at the hair on that man's back.
That's funny. Yes.
Oh, Jason could make everybody laugh. Jason Klassen.
Yep.
I only can hope Steve talked to John about that before he ripped that camouflage.
And now he's choking him.
That's awesome.
We've got trouble already.
He is so good.
The Destructors are the World Tag Team Champs in this show. We don't have the belts yet, Jeff.
No, not with Ravishing Randy.
Of course, Steve Engstrom, a.k.a. Pretty Boy Taylor, the blonde with the gold trunks. If anybody's wondering who that was.
He was the Mr. X too, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was Mr. X as well. Very good in the ring, though. Very good. Say what you want about him outside, but
No doubt. No doubt.
he was
Yep.
very good.
Yep.
And when Steve has to bump, he bumps.
Oh,
and now
God,
he's
yeah.
on the offense.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Now here comes the bigger Destructor, who had a little bit of muscle with him.
Yep.
Chaos.
Yep.
Their names were Psycho and Chaos. Psycho was John Hoffman, and Chaos
Yep.
was Ryan Rudd that we got in the ring right now.
He's come along really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
The Destructors are also in the NWF Hall of Fame. They were voted in, I think, in 2016.
Yep.
Yeah, there's Steve, and we'll see. Steve does some pretty good bumps in this match, if I remember.
Lock up now with Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Ring veteran. He knows all the ropes. Knows all the
Here we go. Here we go.
Now he sets Chaos up, throws him into the ropes, sets him up. Boom, a big shoulder.
There you go. Look at him.
There's
oh,
one.
my. Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gee. Oh, you couldn't beat him. You couldn't.
Yeah, you know, Chaos was the power side of the Destructors, right?
Yep.
But Steve's the one making that. Oh, he's selling
Oh.
that, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
He's claiming he pulled his hair. He's all.
Yep.
Steve was the master at the being a heel.
He's got Taylor on the run.
I just wish he wouldn't have been trying to be the tough guy, because you know, as you're the blonde guy that has the big mouth that everybody wants to see get his, his head knocked off.
His ass hand. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, you're not the
Yep.
tough guy. You're not.
Nope.
Luscious Larry would be the tough guy, right?
Yeah.
Or Chaos, like it is in the ring. He's the tough guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go.
Like Chaos, it should be Chaos saying, "Lock up with me here and do this."
Yeah.
This is all hindsight, guys. I know it's so easy to look at this at our age and say, "This is how you should have done it."
Yes. Uh-oh.
This is what it is back in the day, right?
He's going to kick him, man.
Doing a test of strength. And for those fans that are maybe still at this, that are from the new era of wrestling, remember, this is old school. We're watching old school style, so you're not going to see those fancy moves that you have today.
Yep.
Not so much, but you are going to see classic, fundamental, old school style. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like Dr. Dread.
This is funny. Sky Sports Video News. I love the fact that everyone was freaked out about the patch of hair on the back of one of the wrestlers, but no one worried about getting covered in someone else's blood. Yeah, like I said, nobody AIDS and HIV it just wasn't a factor yet. Nobody thought of it as a serious threat at this point in time. Even though we knew of it, we heard of it. But I remember my thoughts, Jeff, is that's with monkeys, right? That's what everybody used to say.
Yeah,
monkeys
exactly.
deal in Africa. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Slid it in.
Now with these two kids, if they had boots, they had tights, they would be, oh my god, perfect.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my.
well, they did have those baseball pants they're wearing, which kind of look like tights.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but again, you can see they're just wearing their shoes.
Now, when is Ravish Randy gonna?
See, that's just it. Notice Steve in the ring all the time because he's carrying it. He knows. He knows that Randy's not ready yet.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what Steve should do under this situation. But I just wish Steve would be honest with us. He doesn't have to lie to us about it. Just say wherever you found the guy.
Yeah.
And if you did find him down south, maybe you did. But you didn't find him in a wrestling league.
No. There you go.
Oh, we're running out of time. See, so but it's just getting good. See, but this was kind of by design. This is by design, you guys. We're showing the match getting really hot and heated, and we're going to the credits, and people realize they got to come to the Dri-Dock to see this, to see it live, right?
Oh my! Tom Rigger.
Steve was good.
Oh, yes, no doubt.
Good in the ring. I mean, he really was.
Oh my!
But I can't say much about this Ravishing Randy.
No.
Was he even in the ring?
No, he wasn't. No, he never did. Oh my God, that's unreal. Jimbo's Dri-Dock,
Jimbo's Petro
Pete,
Pete's.
Off the Wall Productions, Jimmy, and Bad Productions.
I don't know what Off the Wall Productions is.
I don't remember either. I know Petro Pete.
February 16th, 1988.
Yeah, boy. Unreal.
So yeah, that was one of our final tapings there, at least that I have on video myself. Because what happened, like I said, guys, Jeff and I we did a few more. I think there's like maybe 3 more tapings.
Yeah.
But Jeff and I would get the World Tag Belts, and then eventually Ernie wanted us to drop those belts to Steve and Randy, this Ravishing Rusty guy. And I remember I said to Jeff, I said, how are we going to do it? And Jeff's like, and he said, just kind of looking at me, he goes,
yeah,
I'll take care of it. I'll lose it.
Exactly.
So you volunteered to take the loss for the team. And then because here's the thing. At the time, I wasn't a real fan of Steve Engstrom, and you knew this. So you figured I'm not gonna put you through that. I'll take the loss for this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you knew.
Yeah,
you knew how I felt. So I was so appreciative that you did that for me, because with all the bad blood I had with Steve at the time, I didn't want to. The last thing I want to do is get pinned by him in the ring, right? So it's an emotional thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? It is what it is. It was awesome, though. I'll never forget it. It's just, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
It was oh my. Yep.
It was a fun time, and it's really what all the hard work we did from back in the bed mattress days.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Gizmo says, after watching this, I would love to see the very first wrestling tape you shot before the company existed, and that would be the basement stuff. And I have, I have lots of it, but it's in bits and pieces. It's not complete shows. So one of these days we'll do it, but it's gonna be bunkhouse style. What you did, what every kid did in their basement at one point in time, I think, right? That were fans of wrestling.
Yeah. Unreal.
That was a style, but it was very, very primitive. But we can do a watch along on that one of these days.
Thank you, Gizmo. That's awesome, buddy.
And then he said, I guess he's following up. He said, from the first taping when you you wanted to start up a wrestling company. Yeah. And that would be the basement stuff. I mean, that's what we, in fact, I got an interview with myself in the basement on these mattresses saying, right now at this point, we are constructing an actual wrestling ring. And I would start going over the schematics and how it's going to be and how tall it is. And in my mind, I wanted people to prepare our audience that this is what we're going to do. We're going to build a ring. Even though we weren't doing this, I said we're doing it.
Yep.
And that was the goal in the very beginning. I wanted a ring.
Yes. And that's what we got.
The mattresses are just temporary. This is temporary, guys. We're going to have an actual ring, you know?
Yep.
See, the only reason I never saved all those complete shows, Jeff, the basement stuff, and even the Group W stuff before we got posts and ropes, was because to me, it didn't represent what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to look like a wrestling ring. And so until it actually looked like a wrestling ring, then I started saving the tapes.
Yep, exactly right.
But I wished I would have today, Jeff. I wish I would have kept all of it. You know, what was I thinking?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Unreal. Yep. But you've done well. You've done so well.
Yeah. I mean, I try to do it. I do the best I can with everything. 412 Film says, after looking back on NWF, I can tell it's still the best show of all time in my book, and I give NWF Kids Pro Wrestling 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Awesome.
Thanks
you
for that comment.
That's great. Yeah. I still wish it would have been the kids, though. I wish it would have.
Well, Jeff, when you first came, when you first came in, that was your whole intention. You gave Jamie McParland his wrestling name. He credits you for that.
Yes.
He goes, it was Jeff who said, "Oh, you're from McParland, huh? How about the Irish Terror?" He remembers you coming up with it for him.
Absolutely. Yep. I remember. Yep. Oh my God, that was fun though.
But Jeff, your thought, when you first came in Dayton Studios, like what did you want to see happen at that point in time?
I wanted to see more of the kids, because that was something it was huge. It was like right there. I mean, you had everything good. You had everything with the kids. they were just awesome. And I think that they should have stayed with it. I really believe that. NWF should have stayed with it. The kids.
Well, the plan was that Larry would have NCWA for the big guys, and we'd have NWF for the kids, and we would just work together. You know,
even so, you know, I mean, we had so many guys that should not have been wrestlers. They should not have, no doubt.
Like who do you think? Like who? Do you remember any?
I think the Bandit should never been.
Yeah.
Steve Payette never should have been. These guys that they should not have been, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, Steve Payette, you mean that guy, that Russian guy?
Yeah. He shouldn't have been. No way. I mean,
no,
But all of the kids that you had, I mean, that I wrestled, I mean, they were just awesome. They were so good. They were so.
You're thinking like the Ice Dragon and Chris Logan.
Yes, they were devoted. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I enjoyed wrestling with them because they were good kids. They were awesome.
And Jeff, you were a smaller guy, so you needed to be in with people more your size, and you fit the size better for that too. So that was part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I wrestled with Buck Zumhoff. You know what? It was no big deal. It really wasn't, because you kids had stuff there. You had something going. And now with the English kids now, unreal.
Yeah, over there in Europe.
Yes,
Wrestling Revolution Keaton and so forth, Arnie.
Yep. And you started it. You got it going.
Yeah. I mean, it was, you know, and like Keaton, when we talked to him earlier today, he was, he flat out says he was influenced by us. That's what got him interested to want to do kids wrestling, which I thought was great to hear that from Keaton. I don't know if you guys all caught that when he talked about that, but that was pretty cool stuff. Did everybody see the interview with Keaton? I'm just curious if
I did. Yeah, it was good.
Crew, you know, all of our viewers and stuff that were tuning in. Here's a comment from Sky Sports Video News. Jeff, I have seen many of your matches. You were very physical and entertaining to watch. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, the Dr. Dread.
I was never very big. I was not. I was 5'6", and I weighed I guess maybe I was about 160 pounds. Not now, but you know, now I'm a little bit more than that now. But yeah.
But you know what else I remember, Jeff, in those days? The friendships we all had right then in this point in time.
Oh, my. Yes.
I mean, I used to hang out at your house and watch the Twins in the World Series.
Oh, yes, no doubt.
And with Dion and all that.
Sky Sports, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, and the other thing, too, I was going to say is the friendships that we had. I remember this vividly, Jeff. You and I went, it was a tag match. We were in the ring, and I had forgotten my elbow pads. And I'm like, I'm getting to back it off, and I turned in, and I realized, I go, God darn it. I didn't say darn it, though. I said, God darn it. I forgot my effing elbow pads, I said to you. And you're in your mask and everything. You're like, I did too. I'm looking at you. You didn't have yours either. If you didn't have your elbow pads, you guys, in that ring, you would get these burns like Jamie talked about.
Oh my! You know what? When I was wrestling, somebody asked me one time, "That's fake." All right, and this is the truth. I played softball at the state tournament. We're in Moorhead, and my mother was there, and we were all talking about stuff. And there was a guy there. He was half in the bag. He was a pretty chunky guy.
Yeah.
And my brother was talking about wrestling. And that guy said, that wrestling's fake. He said, that I get. And I just relax. My mom said, just cut it out now. And I said, why don't you shut up? Really? I mean, you don't know. He said, well, you can't body slam me. No way. And my mom said, no. I said, no, just knock it out. I put my glasses up, and I picked him up, and I body slapped him right on the concrete. And he was, I said, hey, don't talk to me about fake. But every time I'd have a wrestling match, I would feel like I was in a tackling football game with no pads or nothing on.
Yeah, well, for you, because you were a little bit old. You were a little bit older, Jeff, so you were feeling it more too.
Yeah,
I was 18, so I was still young, but yeah, I could see. A couple comments here to get caught up on. 412 Film says he did a movie on. He goes, I did a movie on my channel about not just my YouTube career, but also my time in wrestling. I'd love to see that.
Yes, I would
you have
too.
to give us a link on that. I would like to take a look at that.
Yep.
And then Damien, he's got a question for you, Jeff. He says, was Crusher a good mentor to you? Did you like the way he ran the company back when I was running it?
Absolutely. No doubt. He should have kept going with it. We could have done something a whole lot good with that. No doubt.
Hey, Jeff, I got a question for you because the guys, I'm going to ask it for Gizmo.
Oh, look at this lady.
I haven't seen her in years.
That's Mrs. Dread.
Yeah.
Mrs. Dread.
It's been like 35 years since last time I probably saw her. But listen, no, I was going to say the Gizmo always asks this. And I'm going to ask it for Gizmo. Got any dirt on Crusher? Anything? Any dirt whatsoever you can think of?
Boy, I don't know. Wait, no, it says
other than blading too deep.
Jeff was Crusher a good mentor. Absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt. And I would never been the Wrestling Hall of Fame if it wasn't for him. No.
Well, you would have made look the announcing.
No.
You know the golden voice for announcing. I don't think there was.
You know what? I just it just. No doubt about it. You were awesome.
It was actually, he's asking if I was a good mentor to you. Let me tell you this about Jeff. I remember we were trying to reboot the NWF in Troy Stenerson's pole barn in Ramsey, Minnesota.
Yep. Oh yeah.
We had the ring set up and everything, and Jeff Dinsmore shows up. He comes in. I think we were at Deanna or whatever, and we were doing a taping, and you just kind of popped in to see how things are going, and you noticed that our announcer just wasn't really hitting it right. No. And so Jeff says, "Let me show you how this is done." And he goes, "Gonna do it like this." And then he restarted, we stopped the whole match and everything. And Jeff started up and he's like, "Welcome to NWF Wrestling. And I'm Jeff Dinsmore. We got our heck of a match here." He just starts calling it just like lickety. And he just laid it out. And then when it's done, just like, see, now that's how you want to do it. Just like that. Just like that excitement. And Jeff immediately, just with whoever that kid was we had that was doing the announcing, just tried to just help him out right away. Yeah. There's the mentor right there. Okay.
No.
I'm telling you, Jeff. Here's an interesting question. Did Crusher teach you to smoke? Because that's the thing. I was a smoker back then, and Jamie mentions it.
I didn't. I know I smoked, but I know no.
No, he's asking did I teach you to smoke?
Oh no. You probably did. No.
I know that I influenced Jamie on that for sure. Or he never started at that time, but he claims that.
Yeah, I didn't know you smoked.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I did since I was 15. I smoked till I was 24, and then I quit.
Wow, so I did not know.
I haven't had a cigarette since, but
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of hard. You think about it. Like I was smoking at Steve and I, Engstrom. We did a Broadway, right? A 60-minute draw in the Armory in July. We all watched that show a while back. Gizmo and everybody remembers this. And I had went almost 60 minutes. It wasn't, you know how Broadway's, you say 60 minutes, but you probably did 45 or 50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, it's still 45, 50 minutes is a long time in the ring. And I'm a smoker. Steve and I are both smokers, but we went the distance as smokers. I'm thinking to myself, how could we do that?
Oh yeah.
No, but
yeah. yeah. Now it's $12 a pack. No way.
But back then, Jeff, everybody, kids smoked back then. That was a thing. It was like it's a habit today, but back then it was like a cool thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was super. Yeah. Yeah. The Marlboro Reds.
Yeah, I think I did the mediums for a long time.
Would you?
Marlboro mediums.
Oh yeah.
They're reds as well. They just weren't as potent,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We shouldn't. I don't want to influence anybody on smoking, guys.
No.
Let me tell you this much. I'm so glad I quit, and I've had nightmares that I started again. And you know, you don't smoke anymore, do you, Jeff?
No.
Because
My
I know
heart
you used to as well.
Yeah, that was it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, the foolish things we did. But that was like the worst. The only thing I've ever done that was bad was drinking for a while when I was in my 20s.
I did that quite a while. I still do.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, I'm 65 years old. I don't do smoke. I smoke a little toke every now and then, but you know what? It's the way it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And there could be worse. There's a lot worse things people do.
Worse. Yeah. But you know what? Again, with the kids now, they're out of I don't know, out of touch with everything really. And you guys had something good for them. You had everything for those kids. It was awesome. It made such a big difference, no doubt.
It was a rare time. Did you know, Jeff? I don't know. I've never told these guys. This is gonna be the first time they hear this. That somebody approached me and said, "You really should contact the Guinness Book of World Records because I don't think there's ever been anybody that's promoted wrestling that's been a 16-year-old. You know, when we did the first Armory card.
No.
And let alone produce a TV show.
Yes.
Yes. And I was 14 when I started the NWF. They said, you should really do the Guinness Book. So I looked into it, and I actually did. I had to get several people sign off on it as witnesses and stuff. So I had to go get Mr. Manthe, who was now the principal at Coon Rapids. He had to sign off on it and vouch for all this. I went through all the legwork for both youngest wrestling promoter and youngest TV show producer for a television series and submitted it. And Guinness wouldn't recognize youngest wrestling promoter. They didn't have anybody, they just didn't have a category, so they didn't recognize it. But for TV producer, they said, we see there was a kid who directed a film at 12 and he's got to get beat by 2 years. And I'm thinking to myself, but he directed a film. I produced the show. There's a big difference between producing and directing, but they didn't.
And you wrote a book too. You wrote a book.
Yeah.
You wrote a book.
Yeah. But no, I attempted to get in the Guinness Book, and it was at a suggestion of somebody else. Because it's really not it doesn't cost anything. You just have to go do the legwork to get all the signatures from people about and newspaper articles and all that kind of stuff. So to prove it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It would have been cool if it happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yep. That's awesome.
Ford Film says this is a new record in my opinion. Now thanks, Ford 12.
It's unreal.
But yeah, Jeff, but I think of you and I though, my memory is really before the wrestling is the friendship we had.
Yes, no doubt, and we'll always be friends. No doubt.
Yeah, Jeff was the kind of person, guys, that I'm 18 and he was like, what were you when I was 18? You would have been 26, 27.
I'm 65 now.
And I'm 54. So you were about 11 years older. So you were about 29. But I felt like he was just as friend of anybody else that I had that was a friend. I would call him up any time of the day and we'd talk.
Yeah.
And Jeff was like that with a lot of us. He was just very, very approachable and good memories. And
I'll never forget. I met Dr. Dread actually was born. We had a match. I don't remember where it was. And one of the guys didn't show up. And I don't remember who. And you said, you can wrestle. I said, nope, no way. Yeah, we'll put a mask on. You did, and that's how Dr. Dread became about. Yes.
Yeah, and it was at the Dri-Dock, and then what you did is the finish was this is the one time when Crusher Crossen lost by pinfall to Dr. Dread, and you hit me with the roll of quarters. Quarters were everywhere. Remember?
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know.
And you had the tape for the longest time. Do you still have that?
I don't know.
Because we showed in one of our shows, we showed the finish. We showed you hit me with the roll of quarters. So we have that. We have that part of it.
I don't know. Because I'm like, what am I going to do? You gave me a mask.
Because remember we said Dr. Dread's coming back, and you're like, are you worried about Dr. Dread coming back? Because this, you remember this match, obviously. And I said, I'm not worried, but I'm just a little on the lookout. Let's just say that. And then here the whole angle was Dr. Dread's coming back to be my partner.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
shocked everybody.
Yes.
I remember.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody's seen it coming. That was some
Oh
fun
my
days.
gosh, that was funny. Oh
Gosh, I
my.
could talk about those days forever.
Oh
But you know,
gosh, yes.
but the guys make a good point though. They like, but you know what our regulars really like to see? They love to see the evolution of all this.
Yes.
So that's why Gizmo says it would be so cool to see the very first few shows now, and
Yes.
compare that to where it got to, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because then you see the evolution, right?
Mhm.
You can see
Yeah.
like how each year it got better and better and better and better.
Oh yeah. It's
You know,
oh my gosh.
it's almost embarrassing, guys, when I watch the basement stuff. I'm not going to lie, for me.
But no, I
But it's
didn't.
the
I love.
beginning.
Yeah,
Right?
it was. It was like
Yeah.
you guys are gonna be something. No doubt.
Yep. 412 Film says, friendship is a big thing in wrestling. That's how I met my best friends. Yeah. Yeah. So 412 understands exactly what we're talking about
Oh
here.
yeah, you got it.
And then, you know what? You don't have to be in the business. Just having friends that were from back in the day, you know, just, reach out to somebody you knew way back when and just talk to them again. That's
no
like
doubt.
what Jeff and I do every now and then. It's
Yeah.
just, it's really good.
Yeah.
Makes
Now I
you
got
feel
your
good.
phone number. Now I got your phone number, so now
Yeah, because I changed it. I recently changed it. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
my new number now. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. That's great, man. I'll tell you what, it's just, it just gives me goosebumps with all of these kids, and now they're bigger. They're big, it's unreal.
Just think if we would have been able to stick with it and keep doing it, and let's let them grow into it.
Oh yeah,
how we would have went.
Yep,
I don't know. You don't have the article. I've got all the newspaper articles, and that article with Godzilla, where you have me in the headlock.
Yes,
right?
yes.
They
have
interviewed. Yeah, I've got that, and they interviewed you, and me, and everybody. But they interviewed you. You mentioned kind of more or less like, look, we're not trying to be the AWA. We're not trying to be the WWF. We're not trying to be the PWA. We're just a group of guys that are all friends, and we're just trying to put on some good family entertainment type of thing.
We never made any money.
No, not much until Jim Mitchell come along, and then you made what, $5?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only person that ever paid me in this business was Eddie Sharkey, and that was because that's how he did his business, right?
That's right. No doubt.
That was just he was just being, by him paying me, he was just being respectful for that, right? That was what he paid everybody that worked for him. So,
but Eddie Sharkey was, do you realize the people that he actually brought in?
Rick Rude, Bob Backlund, Jesse the Body Ventura, the Road Warriors.
Unbelievable.
I think Nikita Koloff,
Yes.
Crusher Khrushchev.
Yep.
Jerry Lynn.
Gosh,
I could go on and on. He trained a lot of greats. And I heard about all of it. When I go to his training camp, when I first met him, because he was so welcoming to me. He said, "This is where we train. You come down anytime you want." Right.
Yep.
That's how Eddie was so personable. And so I went to his training camp, and then he'd say, "Sit right next, right here, right next to me, because I got to watch the guys. He's training them." And he would just sit in the chair, and he would just bark orders at the guys, and he'd have handlers in there actually doing it with them. And but while we're there, he'd just be telling me, it was wrestling psychology 101, guys. He would tell me, "Now see how we're doing here. We're doing this." He'd be going over the move, and say they do it over and over and over. And he goes, "It's all about repetition. You got to keep doing it till you get it right." Eddie was such a good mentor for me at that time. I'm 16 years old. I thought I knew everything at the time, but when I met Eddie Sharkey, he filled in the gaps. Let's just say that.
Well, that's how he got me. I don't remember. It was, what's that place in Coon Rapids? Thumpers,
yeah.
Thumpers. And he said, I like you. He said, you're good. He said, "What? Can you be an announcer for me?" Yeah, no problem. And it was like, no sweat. It was a pleasure. With Mad Dog Vachon, I'll never forget it. It was at Thumpers, and I got to meet Mad Dog, and I said, "Oh my gosh, nice to see you." And he was so personable.
Yeah.
And he said, "You're going to announce me, but you need to just say, the Mad Dog, and get out of the ring. Don't just get out of the ring. He said, because I'm going to throw all these chairs. It was so funny. And I got the hell out of there quick. And he was, oh my God. He was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, Dr. Dread was Mad Dog Vachon in a mask.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, and he said, you can be another Mad Dog. He said, you use your scratch. And he was awesome. He was a good guy. And that's just what I did,
Oh, yeah. Sky Sports Video News has a comment. What are they saying here? Basement shows were your beginnings. You had raw talent where you developed your wrestling skills and made friendships from a very early age. And it seems they lasted a lifetime. That's a good point. That's the way we need to look at it when we watch them. And we will watch them, guys. We will do the basement shows.
Yep.
So just FYI, that we'll do it. Now, here's what's going to happen, you guys. I got to just get everybody updated on where we're at here, and then we're probably going to be signing off. But here's what's happening. Make sure I get the right thing here. First of all, let's not forget NWF Wrestling's Video Network Premium. Oh, I got to remember to get rid of these comments, don't I? Hang on. Because nobody can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Video Network Premium. It's coming. It's going to start June 1st. And the way you'll find out and stuff is just keep going to our website. We have a whole page on this. And when that thing starts on June 1st, there'll be a link right there to get right to this. So that's going to happen June 1st.
Super.
Also, and the subscription rate will be very reasonable, you guys. I'm keeping it low priced. And remember, if you do subscribe to this video network, it's going to be a way for you to help support us and everything we do with this. It's all the plaques and everything the guys got. This is just to help go for all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Also, let's see if I can find this. I'll have to bring it in here. Give me 1 second. Because I realized I am on the different screen now, so I'll have to do it this way. There we go. You see this? This is going to be next week's guest. Let's get it sized up here. Next show, May 30th, our final show of old, I say old, grainy looking footage, not upscaled, not enhanced yet. This is going to be the last show that we do of NWF. And I'm going to have our special guests, our video aficionados, gurus, Rich Oxley and Jason Ewert. These are guys that, Rich Oxley, the guy on the left there, he's my instructor when I went to video production in 2016 and got my degree. He was my instructor, and Jason Ewert was the CLA and also went through the program. So these are my mentors. Now, if anybody has dirt on Crusher Crossen, I have a feeling that maybe one of these two might. We'll see. And not only that, the guy on the left there, Rich Oxley, he knew Scott Tronson, Old Man Tronson.
Oh,
so we'll see what he has to say. Yeah, he went to college with him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he says about Old Man Tronson.
His brother's still with North Metro TV here.
Yeah. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
I can't remember it. Yeah. I've seen him all the time, too.
But yeah, so that's our next show then in two weeks, guys. Dixie Dave will be back. And we have those guys on as guests. And it'll be it's going to be an NWF show. I'm not even sure which one we're doing yet, but we're going to hear the technical savvy from these two guys. They're going to tell us, because first of all, Rich knows of the era we did all this. He knows how video technology was. So we'll talk to him about all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And Jason Ewert, Jason's both these guys are like they were avid wrestling fans back in the day.
Yeah.
So so they're thrilled to come on with us. So I'm looking forward to those guys.
Yep. Awesome.
And I'm still going to reach out. I'm still reaching out to other kids, and I've opened the door to both Northern Ireland professional wrestling and Subforce Arnie Slam Wrestling. I've let them know that if any of their other kids that are there or the teens, the Canary Kid or any of them want to come on as guests with us on NWF Rewind, we're going to keep that door open. I want to keep bringing them in and giving them exposure, talking a little bit about what they're doing at a very young age, just like we did, Jeff, back in the day.
Maybe you ought to go to Europe and see the
Well, you know what I told him, Jeff? when I was talking to Wrestling Revolution Keaton, I said, you know what I see here, Keaton? You guys are in Northern Ireland and you're training as kids. You got these kids over here in the UK. You're not that far apart. How about come together for an annual event and have a showdown, right?
That would be
UK
great.
versus Northern Ireland. And I said, here we go. This is Crusher Crossen, the promoter, talking now. This is this is me back in the day wanting to see this happen. This is how I think, you guys.
Yep, that's that. You should. You really.
You know how we do? You just start a GoFundMe. You get people to. I mean, you kidding me?
That's right. There you go.
People wouldn't help support the kids for this? Are you nuts? You get all the money you need from a GoFundMe.
That's right.
As long as you get the word out.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So yeah, that's just Crusher Crossen thinking.
Yeah, but you never know. Yeah, you've done stranger things before that.
You know, just so you know how my mind works, you guys, when we were doing the Anoka Armory, I actually called the St. Paul Civic Center and got the pricing on what it would take to book that. Now, that's how we never did it, but you have to think big, guys. You have to, in order to get anywhere, you got to look and reach to the stars. And I actually picked the phone up and called there to find out what it would cost to rent that building, and brought the numbers down and started trying to figure it out.
What did they tell you?
Oh gosh, it was way out of our reach. It was like we'd probably be looking at around, I think, $2,500 in those days just to get
yeah. But now, of course, it's not there now. But I'm just saying,
right, yeah, it was unattainable.
Auditorium.
And then another thing I tried doing was getting the Pumpkin Bowl in Anoka there, Goodrich Field.
Oh,
I wanted to do an outdoor event there. I thought it would be cool. All the people that showed up on Fridays for the football games, I figured we could get that same crowd, right?
Oh. Yeah.
And I wanted to do that, but the school said they entertained it, but they said you have to have some insurance for this.
Yep.
I said, but we're in the basement doing Fred Moore, isn't that? I mean, that's different. That there's already a policy for that.
Yes.
You know, for boxing and stuff. They wouldn't go for it because insurance was a killer, Jeff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yep.
But yeah, so let's see, guys. Well, here's one more comment I'll bring in, and then we're probably going to call it a night. 412 Film says, well, my best friend and I are trying to get our wrestling show off the ground, but it's taking time until we do get it there someday. And that's just it, 412. You gotta have goals and have them, and they got to be unattainable. If you can make your goals happen, they're not goals. Make those goals unreachable. And keep pushing for that, because as you keep pushing for the goals you can't get to right now, you're going to accomplish the basic stuff that you're trying to get done. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's my advice there. Just keep doing it, keep plugging away, but make some goals that might be out of reach right now.
Yeah.
You know, when I first did the wrestling show on the bed mattresses, I told you I got an interview, and I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about constructing a wrestling ring, and then just starting on bed mattresses. Now. We didn't have one, but look where we got, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
look where you are now, really, you know.
Yep, you just got to make goals that are unattainable at first, and then keep pushing forward.
That's right, no doubt.
All right, guys, well, thanks for tuning in and listening to Jeff and I ramble away here.
That's all right, though. You know what? That's what's fun. We could go for hours.
Oh, gosh.
We could, no doubt.
The stories that he and I could tell you. But if you want to hear about Jim Mitchell and some of these other guys, on that. And Steve Engstrom, the Iron Duke, and Steve Engstrom, and all of it. Man, there's so many stories. And Dion, the crazy stuff, the crazy lifestyle that his family. Oh man.
Oh yeah, geez,
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That one guy.
Yep, no doubt. Yep.
Yeah, so fun times though.
I'll talk to you, but no.
Yeah, I remember. Here's a funny story I'm going to share with everybody before we leave. Jamie McParland was trying to get his show going, and he tried doing a little variety skit show. He didn't have the ring, or didn't have the wrestling, so it was just Jamie talking in front of a camera, and Jamie being Jamie, and he was kind of being silly with it and funny and everything. And Jeff is watching this, and he's like. And Jamie's aligning himself with the NWF, of course, because he wants to snowball off of us. But it was bad, and it wasn't a good production for Jamie, this particular show. And Jeff's watching it with me. He's like, "Oh God, Sean, what is he doing here? You got to talk to him." This is embarrassing. What is going on here? You can't
be doing that, man. Oh boy,
because it was a bad show for Jamie, and I'm just laughing because I'm laughing at Jeff's reaction.
Oh wow,
I heard you, Jeff.
Crazy,
I heard you,
man.
but you were just so, what is he doing here? What he's making fun of all of us here. What are you doing here? But Jamie meant well. He's just a little too young to pull it off more. He looked like we did on the bed mattresses, right? At the time, and he was just starting out with it. So
unreal.
It was funny. Jamie and I laugh about that to this day.
Oh my, yeah.
He remembers.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then 412 Film says, "Thanks, man. That really means a lot to me, man. Right now, well, good, and it's I just want to. There's nothing better. There's nothing that feels better when you can set a goal that's maybe not reachable, and then eventually you get there.
Yes.
There's just nothing more rewarding than that. No Jeff, I'll give you an example. Jeff said, "I think we can do this at the Dri-Dock on a monthly basis." Because at the time we would just do it here, and we did it like quarterly. Yeah. And just like, I think we can do it on a monthly basis. And that was kind of a game plan and a goal. And now, lo and behold, we went there every month. We were doing events.
Exactly. We went into the studio to do the interviews, which was great, which was funny.
Oh, yeah. Like we used to do the Saturday afternoon special where we would stage live shows and we'd stage phone calls. But when we went in these days, we actually did live shows with real call-ins. We had actual people calling in. It was live.
Yeah, and Steve Engstrom used to make me so laugh. I just broke up all the doggone time. He would just, time out, let's do it again.
I'll never forget, I was on this live show that you're talking about. We did the live call-ins. It was me, and it was Jeff Dinsmore, and it was Dion Dallas. And some girl called in and said, "Who's the one on the right?" Yeah. And you're like, and does he have a girlfriend?
Yes,
it was me.
Yes,
and I'm like,
just like,
that's Crusher. And no, he doesn't have a girlfriend right now. And I'm like,
I got a girlfriend.
Stop. Get the number. Call this person back.
Please. Gosh, it sure wasn't Dion.
No, I mean, he's all right though. I mean, I like this character.
We should get him on here sometime.
I would love to talk to Dion again.
Awesome.
Yeah, but you're the only one, Jeff, that could make it happen because I don't know how to get a hold of him.
I can try to make it happen. Yep.
Yeah.
You probably have to come here because I don't think he's got any computer or not.
Have him come there. I mean,
that's all right. Yep.
Yeah, you can make it work. And so, guys, we'll be back in 2 weeks with our special guests, Rich Oxley, Jason Ebert. Jeff, thanks for stepping in for Dave. I know he's going to appreciate it.
My pleasure, bud. My pleasure. And everybody, Gizmo and 412 Films, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, awesome. You don't know how much it means to me and all of us, Jeff and Dave, for you guys to tune in with us live, because we don't get the live audience. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have much of a live audience. So I'm so grateful for you guys tuning in live.
Yep,
that means everything to me.
Yes, no doubt. Yep, awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you, friend. You have a good day. Take it easy.
Yep, and thanks again, Jeff, for stepping in, and we will catch you next time on when we meet up, maybe in July again, when Dave has to go out of town.
Sounds good. Awesome, buddy. Have a good day.
See you guys. See everybody in 2 weeks.
All right. Good night, everybody.